hello. How you guys doing? So good to see you here for this live stream, guys. Very good having you here. How you doing? How you doing? Happy Memorial Day to all of you. Hello, hello. Let me see if we can move a little bit. So I've got a lot of stuff here because today is going to be a bit of a special stream. When you could say that about all the streams, I suppose. But here we are. I've got some kitchen paper for today's stream. That's what I've got. Hello, hello. Weekend has been fine, Blade. Thank you for asking. Been playing horror games mostly during the weekend. It was kind of fun. Ciao, Daniele. Hello, hello, guys. How you doing? So as I was saying, we got kitchen paper today. We got some olive oil today. We're not cooking now. But the reason why we've got extra virgin Bertolli olive oil is because the only olive oil I've got, because I ran out of WD-40. Not that WD-40 is olive oil, but it's oil. And since it's Memorial Day, today I'm going to clean my helmets and I'm going to do it live. We're going to oil my helmets. In fact, we're going to need some space here. We're going to need some space. I got some chocolate as well in case we need some extra energy. And that's what I'm doing during Memorial Day. I'm oiling helmets. Now, given, it isn't exactly the best oil that you could use, but it works. Everything works. It's Italian WD-40 exactly. And besides, even WD-40, rather than to be used to keep your armor and helmets well oiled, it's mostly used for cleaning. Like you can use it for cleaning like the GUNs, firearms. You can use it for clean any piece of equipment. But then again, it works. Like any oil works, okay? Any oil works when it comes to preventing rust. And so if you don't have anything else, the only downside, right? What a stream. Anyways, the only downside of having this oiled with Bertolli Gentile is that it will make your helmet smell like an Italian salad, which for me is a plus. So I'm gonna have to get Memorial Day at WTF then unsubscribe them, because I'm glad for the people. You know what? I'm going to tell you this so you can unsubscribe if you want. I live in America. I'm going to get an American citizenship. Yeah. And here's what I'm going to say. Land of the free because of the brave. If you don't like that, well, here we are. My grandfather was in the armed forces. I was in the Navy. My father was in the... my grandfather was a major colonel of the artillery corps in the Alps. That was my grandfather. He fought against the fascists, by the way, but that's what he was. And then I was in the Navy. My dad was also in the military. My cousin was in the military. A lot of my family has military. Now, given, I guess there are some people that might use it for political. I don't care. I don't care about politics, okay? I'm grateful for the people to sacrifice, to defend. I'm not pro-offensive warfare, obviously, but I am glad for people to serve in the military. And if you think that every person who has ever served in the military is horrible, wrong channel. I'm grateful for these guys defending Europe. Let's go. So, let's get the helmets, guys. Let's get good evening, goatee. Let's go. All right, we've got a bunch of helmets here. I'm sick of people getting offended for stupid things. I'm just going to say what I think. Don't even care. There we go. More helmets, guys. More helmets. Here we are. Boom. Raises glass. Let's go. Let's go. Freedom of speech, guys. Freedom of speech. I'll say whatever the hell I want. Here we are. There you go. We've got a bunch of helmets here. We've got a shield to protect us from nonsense. Here it is. Shield to protect us from nonsense. I'm gonna oil that one too. I got this. Great. All right, I think we're doing well. And then we have a new helmet that I'm gonna show for the first time. You can kind of see it in the background. We got a new helmet, guys. And I'm going to do a full, like, putting on the helmet and seeing how it works and compare it with the frog mouth. I'll do that for members and Patreons. But here we are. Good to have you here, guys. Yeah, that's the new one, Leonidas. That's the new one, exactly. I'm going to show you during the stream today because I'm going to oil it. But I've prepared like the full unboxing and putting it on and trying it on and comparing it with the others. There's going to be a video that's going to post it. If you're a Patreon, you'll see it on Patreon. If you're a member, you'll see it on members. And here we are, my friends. I'm not drinking Kool-Aid, no. It's some kind of like a drink that my wife did for me, and it's supposed to give me like electrolytes. Dallas says, you can celebrate Memorial Day and say Happy Memorial Day. My granddad died in World War II. Well, thank you to your grandfather for his service. We don't cry about him. We'll pour him a glass and celebrate. That's fantastic, Talos. That's it. That's it. No, I don't delete comments because, again, I'm for freedom of speech. So whether it be mine or someone else's, I don't delete comments. You can literally call me the worst thing on the planet. Come and stay. Boom. Come and stay, guys. All right, so let's see. Welcome, welcome. Senatus Populusque Romanus, my friend Caesar. Good to have you here. Long live the Empire, says Reverend Rev Hui. I agree. Good evening, Goatee. Hello, hello. Well, Pastrami Kick. Google it. Salve Metatron. Hey, David. Yeah, this is the drink, so it's something that, yeah. Hey, Caesar, so good to have you here, my friend. Man, you don't miss a stream. Holy moly. Let's see. Yeah, we got some good stuff. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. What's stronger than steel? Answer, more steel. That's a good point, Normal. Hello, hello. We got, oh, Raphael, we got a first super chat. Let's show it. I love showing you super chat on screens, guys. And man, we've got a lot of helmets today. Salve, salve. Welcome, everyone. We're going to have a good stream today. So let me see. I'm going to, boom. And then I'm going to, what is it? Boom. Because we're looking at this video later, among other things. Thank you so much, Raphael, for supporting the stream. Maybe you heard about the new video that came out yesterday, Jordan Peterson versus 28 years. Yeah, I watched a bit of it. Very good and very controversial. Trended on X all night yesterday. Would be a really interesting react. Yeah, I might react to it today. I watched a little bit. I'm happy to react to it during this stream. How about that? The first video I'm going to react after I'm done with the helmets is going to be this one. Every historical misconception debunked in 10 minutes, the Paint Explainer. But I'm always happy to see what you guys have in mind. So if there's a video you want me to check out, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely a video that I think I could provide my opinions on. Totally. Thank you. Were the Knights Templar innocent or guilty, asks Nicholas. Depends on the knight. We would have to go like case by case, my friend. We'll have to see like well, which knight did what when they said do. Of course, you can have a Templar knight who's a horrible person, and you can have a Templar knight who is someone I'd be like, you know, if I find out he's in my ancestry, I'd be like all proud of it. So it kind of depends. It really kind of depends, right? It's difficult, really. I think one of the main problems that we often have is this idea of taking an entire group of people and kind of create a connotation, either negative or positive, to the people, regardless of singular individual actions. And to me, that's always like you can generalize a little bit and say, like, for instance, I'm just going to do a positive generalization, okay? Also because it's nice to keep it positive. But a positive generalization that I can say is, as I lived in Japan for 4 years, I love the Japanese. That's a generalization because I had an absolute asshole of a colleague. Do I love him? No, I think he was a piece of garbage. But of course, at that point, we need to go kind of case by case, okay? So, but in general, I want to say I love the Japanese. But oftentimes, generalization don't help, particularly when you try to connect something that is not even, it's not even a matter of subjective versus objective. It's a matter of, was some people that belong to this group did this, hence the entire group is bad. To me, is not a good way to connect, regardless of who you use. But yeah, that's a bit of a deeper discussion. So perhaps we could do that. Videos on the origins of Robin Hood and whether he existed. Tiger Star, you got good ideas, man. Every time you got a good idea. That's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for that. And yeah. Hello, hello. Yeah, YJ says, I'm pretty sure 10 minutes isn't nearly enough for everyone. Yeah, because of the title of this. I agree. So, in fact, I'm kind of curious to see what we've got. I mean, we can kind of see it. They're very small, so it's not like I'm expecting an in-depth analysis, but at least I want to see if, generally speaking, ooh, I think I saw, yeah, look at that guy. We know who that guy is, Henry VIII. So, it could be interesting to see what we've got, what we're working with. It might be good. Hey Titan bro, because a video can be superficial, like in the case of Oversimplified, they're superficial videos, but they're good. I like them. So you can have a video that is superficial, and you can have a video that is very in-depth, and both can be either right or wrong. Hey Baron, so good to have you. You were kind of 50-50 on that video. Good. We'll see. We'll see the kind of arguments that are presented, and yeah, that could be very interesting to see. AT Price, hello Froggy. Carlo says there was Nicole Ciccolo who interviewed Jay Anderson today. Seriously, Nicole Ciccolo interviewed Jay Anderson? You know who Nicole Ciccolo is, guys? That's another one that we can look at. Nicole Ciccolo is the host. I don't know if she is the owner, but she's the host of this expedition channel, which is the channel that organized and then sort of showed on the internet the infamous 4 hours conference with the discoveries under the pyramid. So it'd be interesting to see that. We might check it out as well. Yeah. Metatron, it's not a door. I apologize, man. I apologize. I stream every day, so por favor 92 is asking a question. Kind of want to analyze here. So had no idea you'd be streaming today. Super delightful. Yeah, I stream Monday to Friday. Usually it's 5 p.m. Central, but I'm Italian, so what are you expecting? Southern Italian, in fact. I take my time. So I'm not really the most punctual individual. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. But generally speaking, around 5-ish, you could expect to see me live from Monday to Friday. And then, believe it or not, Saturday and Sunday, I streamed too, but I just streamed on Twitch. In fact, shout out to my friends on Twitch. Hello, my friends. How you doing? Makarev and Dreamheart and Quad Ninja. So good to have you here. Hey there. And yeah, so I'm on Twitch too, and usually I do gaming on Twitch. So there is that. Hawaiian time, kind of. Yeah, it's probably something we have in common, I suppose, with people from Hawaii. I imagine, yeah. And so there's that. How you guys doing? Lazy Southern Italians. It's not that we are lazy, it's that we like to give priority. Our priorities in life are kind of different to some other people, I guess. Maybe some people in Latin America are a bit like us, but in general, we work to live, we don't live to work. So if we're gonna have lunchtime, I'm gonna have lunchtime. Whether that optimizes the amount of revenue that I can generate through the business, yeah. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna have my pasta, I'm gonna have a little olive oil, my salad, eat it. It's like, what time is it? You gotta open the shop. Yeah, take another 10 minutes. So that's us. That's us, my friends. David Lopez. So good to have you here, man. So good to have all the members here. Thank you so much, guys, today. Man, today's gonna be, I don't know. Today's going to be good. I think today's going to be good. You know, I don't criticize other cultures. I know there are cultures that are like work. Absolutely. Do you. You do you. But for me, if I'm going to take another extra full, like the full hour of lunch, that's like sacred. I'm taking an hour. I don't even care. I'm taking an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And that's what I do. Yeah, I'm European, Savage. Yeah, Southern European. Yeah. Dreamheart says, me and punctuality are mortal enemies. Yeah, I've been a little like that myself. Yeah, unfortunately. So it's just one of those things, right? Napoleon was 5'6", not bad, was he? So he was shorter than me, yeah, because I'm like 5'9". He was shorter than me, that's funny. You know who else is shorter than me? Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter. They are so short, it's crazy. They are barely taller than my mum was, which is kind of funny. At least in the original information that you get on screen in the original Street Fighter games. But then eventually, yeah, more HEMA-related content. I would love to. It's just that it gets penalized by the algorithm. But with you guys, with members, I think we can start seeing that again. And I see that you are a member, so you'll see that definitely in members. Because the thing is, the reality is that we are at 575 members 475 members as of the beginning of this stream. So I think in the next few days, we will hit 500 members, which I really appreciate, by the way. Thank you so much. It really helps, because then we can do that kind of stuff, can't we? And it's fun. Baron has a question, member. Hey, Metatron, when you lived in Japan, did you ever get into watching sumo? Not live, but on TV, yes. I never really went to a sumo event, unfortunately. I wish I did. Thank you, Sparta. I appreciate the congratulations. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. All right. Let's go with the first helmet. We're going to start with the kettle hat, my friends. Let's make it shine. And then we can also prevent the rust a little bit. Why not? Yeah. Just a thin layer. It doesn't need to be too much. How are we doing? Here? Man, look at that. Look at a little bit of oil. And look at this. I've had this for like, what? 6-7 years now. And yeah. Okay, so we got the first helmet done. It still looks new. Yeah, because I do this periodically. Just so happened that I thought today, hey, I'll do it today. That could be fun. What's my favorite mountain, asks Adi. Ooh, my favorite mountain? I don't know if I have a favorite mountain, man. I mean, I like mountains as much as the next guy, but I'm not sure if I have like a favorite mountain. That would be kind of cool, though, to have a favorite mountain. I think we still have enough, a little bit here, yeah. Might need a second coating, but yeah. Did Rome have good ships? Yes, actually. They do. Normally when you watch or read about it, they tell you that they started with the navy during the Punic Wars, but the reality is that they actually started a little earlier than that. And it's a little bit of a myth to think that the Romans didn't have a military navy and definitely a commercial navy before that. They did. It wasn't as good as that of the Carthaginians, for instance, or the Punic one. Looking good? But they still have it, and it was kind of something that the Carthaginians were making treatises about it with the Romans, like, hey, you can't cross this line, which was a line where modern Tunisia is. They're like, you dare unless you're pushed by the wind, so like there is a storm or you're running away from someone. And then there is an actual treaty that says this: you are not allowed to move your ships, and this is before the Punic War, after this line. And so if they say that, it means that they consider the Roman navy to be a threat, because if it's just a bunch of fishermen, who cares? The Carthaginians were the most powerful navy in the Mediterranean basin at the time. So to me, the reading of that treaty and with that clause kind of tells me that the Romans did have a navy, not to mention that there is a specific moment in history when the Romans conquered a town which had pirates. So what happens after you, as a power like Rome, conquer a town? You acquire everything, right? They did it with we know that they did it with the ancient Greeks when they acquired all their machineries and all that stuff, like in Sicily, in Syracuse. So likewise, then they had control of the pirates. And in fact, Alexander the Great complains about Roman piracy. piracy. Sorry, he complains about Roman piracy, and he says, "Man, these pirates, because the Romans now had control over the pirates." So yeah, no, the Romans absolutely had a presence in the Mediterranean Sea. All right, let me see. Exactly, Daniele Fabbro. Thank you very much for explaining that. It's good to prevent rust, yeah. I have to tell you though, here in here in America, the helmets and my metal stuff doesn't seem to rust as quickly as it did in Sicily. Like in Sicily, and I think it's because of the salt water, right? Because Sicily is an island surrounded by the sea. So I have a belief that I've noticed this. Like in America here, even if I re-oil stuff, if I don't touch it, I don't even need to re-oil for months. If I do touch it and so it comes in contact with sweat or just my fingers, then usually I re-oil it. But even if I do it once every 3 weeks, is not a problem. But in Sicily, if I left it for a week, it would rust. Once a friend of mine left some armor of mine that I lent him out at night, and it was a mess of rust, and it took me some time to re-clean it, and I had to literally repolish it. I wonder why, but must be something. I personally think it's the salt and the presence of the how close it is, and in general the humidity. Although here it gets a little humid too, but who knows? Your hair is too long to be polishing your own helmet. Oh no, I'm good. I'll manage. I'll manage. You may have a point though. You may have a point. I actually don't like the smell, Caddis, of WD-40. I use it. I just don't like the smell of it. I prefer my nice smell here. But I'm gonna go for the next helmet, guys, so that as soon as we're done, we can start with the watching some videos. How about that? Okay. So next is gonna be the frog mouth. Let's do the frog mouth. This beast. Let's do the beast. There you go. Let's do the beast. That's a lot of steel. Yeah, this is pretty heavy. I don't remember the exact weight, but it's heavy. Yeah, this one is heavy because this one specifically is one that you could totally use for a full contact joust. Like this is the real deal. Let me see. How we doing? How we doing here? Yeah. Man, this thing is a workout. Why do Italians still hate Germans over the Teutoburg Forest massacre? Oh, we don't. But man, the Romans. Metatron ASMR, yeah. Next is gonna be Maximilian, and then I'm gonna show you, reveal the new helmet, guys. First time reveal on the channel, just in preparation of the members only videos where I'll put it on and do all of that fun stuff that we love doing. How about that? Can you imagine if someone calls me like, "Hey Metatron, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm just polishing medieval helmets live." Maybe sometimes you should just say, "Oh, I'm a little busy doing my thing." Maybe people don't need to know. Maybe people don't need to know everything about you and me. All right. Let me see. It is a unique design, isn't it? Yeah, I love it. I love it myself. And to that, I'm gonna say one thing now. I'm gonna say one thing. Subscribe to the Metatron's channel. How about my angel voice? We got some special effects today, guys. We got some special effects today. Yeah. We got some special effects. For instance, wow, welcome. Wow. I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man. Here we go. Here it is. Maximilian helmet. That's not the new one. Maximilian helmets, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Let's make this shine. And that's the penultimate helmet. And then we move to the new one. Didn't see that coming, says Kristen. Oh yeah, a lot of stuff today. Today a lot of stuff is happening. You do also historical reenactments? Yes, I do. I used to do it more. Now I still have to kind of integrate into one historical reenactment group here in the US, but I will start doing it again. I used to do ancient Roman, used to do medieval. It was always fun. I think we're good with this one. Yeah, this one was pretty quick. I think it's looking good. Look at that. Alright guys, it's the time for the super new helmet. It's the time, guys, to show for the first time ever on this channel, we're gonna show the helmet. So let me just prepare a little bit. Are you ready, guys? Are you ready for the new helmet? New helmet reveal. What a day to be alive. What a day to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. New helmet reveal live in 3, 2, 1. Boom! Look at this. That's my new helmet. Just arrived. What a day to be alive and what a day to be live. Yeah, it is brand new. Yeah, it did turn out great. Look at this. And then we can, of course, lift it. We can, second, because it has a little thing that you need to push. There you go. So it has a liner inside, as you can see. I'm going to show you everything. It's got a nice liner. So it's, from a medieval perspective, this is an armet. But because of modern terminology, we now call these closed helm, simply because it opens this way. Okay, I'm actually going to show you how it opens in a second. But it's basic. A medieval person would have just referred to this as an armet, because medieval people didn't distinguish between an armet and a open and a closed helm. And it's one of those. It's based on a type of helmet used usually for tournament foot combat. And yeah, I think it's nice. So to show you how this opens, simply you open it. There is a thing to push. On the side, there is a button that you need to push on the side. And we push it, and it opens like this. So now I can enter the helmet, and as you can see, it's fully, there's a full liner inside for comfort, even in the front here. And then once the helmet is on, you do this, push the button again, and the helmet is locked. It's actually difficult to remove if you don't know what you're doing with this one. So it's something that, yeah, can you wash the liner? I mean, you can, but I've never washed a liner from a helmet, I'll be honest with you. I've never done it. So let's oil it very quickly so we make sure that it's nice and clean. Sorry for the microphone. Stealing. Let's move it. Okay. Thank you, Daniel Edwards. I appreciate that you like the helmet. We're going to give it a little polish, so we make sure we preserve the conditions. Gonna give it a little polish in honor of Kermit as well. Okay. And then I'm done with the helmets. And then, as I say, I will publish on Members and Patreon a video where I put it on and all of that kind of fun stuff that YouTube just doesn't push anymore. So we just do it among ourselves, guys. Just do it among ourselves, and that's fine. Yeah, I'd say this is good. So let me close the oil before I make a mess. Before I make a mess, ladies and gentlemen, we're done with the oil. So next time I use this will be to put a little soffritto di cipolla for my tomato sauce. I'll use that one for that. And let's see how we're doing. Yeah, I'm just using olive oil because I don't have WD-40. I ran out of it, but it's fine. Any oil will do it. Any oil will prevent rust anyways. So here's the condition now. Looking nice and shiny. Gorgeous helmet. Which helmet in my collection with the most efficient? Probably this one, because it allows you to raise the visor, excellent protection, form fitting. It's a very good helmet. So probably this one. And I'll tell you, visibility is not bad. I mean, it's not great, obviously, but I'd rather take a visibility that isn't great over the business end of an axe on my face. So there's that. I'm gonna lift it a little bit. And there we go. Good to have you here, guys. Good to have you here for the live stream. Epic stuff. Okay, okay. All right, so let me move. Chat in the front so we can see chat. Having a good time. What are you guys doing? Thank you, Biahuka. It's good to have you here. Fantastic to have you here, in fact. You make sure everything is nice and clean. I'm going to move this a little bit. Yeah. It's a very nice helmet. I appreciate that, Old School Pete. We'll be wearing it. We'll be doing good stuff with it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, in the meantime, let me see if I've got... It's getting a little hot in here, isn't it? I even have an effect for it. Look. Ooh. Oh, gosh. It's getting a little hot. Woohoo. Man, you have no idea how many plugins I installed for the live streams. I just went nuts. I just went nuts the other day. Like, literally. Literally. I can have freaking this. I could turn into an amber screen. I can have this a little bit. Like, I've got... Yes. Am I having too much fun? You may have a point that I'm having too much fun. But what can I tell you? Thank you so much, David Lopez. Speaking of olive oil, please recommend me a good, authentic, and accessible brand of olive oil. We had to start talking about food at some point. You're right. No, I actually like Bertolli. I love Bertolli. It's a very, very good one. So, yeah. Bertolli's a good one. Oh, yes, says Nuclear Landlord. Hey, good to have you here, man. So yeah, as I was telling you, we've got... What else do we have? Let me see, because I got a lot of filters, my friend. I got a lot of stuff. Like the other night, I was playing a game, and then the game had retro graphics. It looked like really old. So then I turned on VHS effect like this for the sections that I was playing this game, just to make it more appropriate, which I thought was pretty cool. Salve omnes. Hello, everyone. Where did you order your helmets from, says Jay Peters. So I've got a few craftsmen that I like working with. Usually I use Facebook, by the way. I just know them. I made a few videos when I was recommending them, but this was a very long time ago. So I might make a new little compilation where I tell you these are, I believe, the best craftsmen where you could order your stuff, something like that. So that could be fun. And then... Yeah. I love helmets. Wow. I love helmets. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat, man. Thank you so much, History Kid. Can you add Leonidas Sparta's Thermophilae documentary to your React list? Would really like to hear your thoughts. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, Leonidas Sparta is great. He's here in the chat, by the way, I'm sure you know. And he's a fantastic channel. I've got to do a React absolutely one of these days. Totally. What is Kermit doing here? What do you mean? Kermit is great. Kermit is fantastic. Kermit is the answer. And I would like to say, by the way, that I've ordered it. You know how the other night it was kind of a meme thing where people were like donating for a Kermit fund? And you think I'm just going to say it for a minute and then I'm not going to do it? No, I got this book. Then I did something else and I'm going to show you on my Twitter what I did. I want to show you what I did because when I say I'm going to do something, sometimes I'm a little late, but I'll do it. I'll do it. And plus, I'm a troll. I'm a troll by nature. I love trolling. I love memes. And so I ordered this. That's what I ordered, ladies and gentlemen. So it's arriving on the mail. Purchase confirmed. We're going to get this. And I'm not responsible of what's gonna happen to my content after it. It's your fault. Entirely your fault. And here we are. I did order a Muppet. So, yeah. So there is that. Nice stuff. Brilliant. Yeah, frog supremacy, guys. Frog supremacy. No, I don't think. Yoku Gray asks a good question. I wouldn't Frankenstein a set of armor, really. I would really follow pre-established sets based on the fact that they work. Regardless, 15th century, we're asking, yeah. The Metatron says, what guy? Totally. You're gonna turn me into a Muppet YouTuber. You wait until I find an effect that turns me into a Muppet. I've been finding a lot of plugs, my friends. So the only thing I need now is a plugin that turns me into a Muppet. And once that's found,
it will be the beginning of the end.
So expect that. Leonidas Sparta says, what a great recommendation. Absolutely. Show a room tour. I actually did, the Savage. I can point you to a video because now my camera is connected, cable connected. The camera that I'm looking at right now is cable connected for best speed, so I can't pull it up and walk around with it. However, I do have a dedicated video, so I'm gonna point you to it so you can watch it after the stream if you want. And it was a Christmas special that I did, I think. Metatron Christmas. And yes. No, that's 9 years ago. Goodness gracious. Oh, there we go. I found it. So basically, it's this one here. Christmas special, I'll blow your mind with something you've never seen, which is the entirety of the room. Now, given, since then, I've added more helmets. I've moved things around a little bit. So, yeah, it's a little different to how it was. But the idea is that I kind of show you what's on the side of me, like all of the other stuff that I've got here. And I still think it's a cool video. I don't know why YouTube never really pushes these. I think they're fun. They're like light-hearted, fun content. I'm sure there is a reason when it comes to metrics and whatnot, engagement, but still, it's there if you want. Metatron Muppet Show, absolutely. Absolutely. We should always have a Muppet Show, shouldn't we? Muppets for the win. You use an Apple too. Yeah, I love it. That's one I don't have and I'd like to get at one point. Would be really nice. It's one of the coolest chill videos I've seen, says Adi. I appreciate that. Thank you. I really appreciate you, open-minded people. I love open-minded people. The reason why I say that is because, believe it or not, someone got offended because of that video. Like, literally, you can't do anything these days, which is why I don't particularly care. I laugh about it, and then I continue doing what I want. Because at the end of the day, people will get offended about everything. Like, because I showed that I have armor, I've got a few old school computer, I've got a few Warhammer Fantasy miniatures, like armies, and I got a lot of like games. So yeah, I'm a nerd. And then someone will say, oh, you're flexing your wealth. And I'm like, first, this is stuff that I started collecting when I was 13. So if you throw everything away and I don't, it's not my problem. I just keep everything in good condition. That's the first thing. Second thing, it's not really a matter of wealth in the sense that, well, yeah, I have a successful channel, and so I can write off some things, which is wonderful because I can write them off taxes. Another thing that I love about living in America, because in Italy they wouldn't let me do that. But the other thing is, I've never smoked in my life. So if you take someone who smokes, for instance, one or even two packets of cigarettes a day, you know, in 10 years and then in 20 years, that is tens of thousands of dollars. So the thing is that that money, not only it compromises your health, but it's just literally turned into smoke, quite literally. Whereas for me, every time someone bought that, I would buy some miniatures. I would buy a physical game, and I just kept it for Super Nintendo. Or maybe I'll wait some time, and then I'll buy a helmet, and then this stuff stays. So of course, when you see my room and you see a lot of stuff, you may have this idea, oh, this guy's a millionaire. I'm not. I'm not. It's just that I like taking care of things, and I have never smoked in my life. Never used drugs. I'm just not that kind of person. And so that's where we are. That's where we are. Thank you, Tube, for supporting the stream. Metatron on with all the greatest resp. Ectopic, what you do and your research. Thank you so much. Saying Happy Memorial Day is like saying Happy Funeral Day in the US. Why? I thought it was a bank holiday. Isn't it a bank holiday, my friend? I appreciate that you're being civil about it, by the way. But like, why? What's wrong with it? Let's Google it. How about, oh, sorry, I didn't actually show the thing, and I always show the thing. So this is what he was saying. Happy Memorial Day is like saying Happy Funeral Day in the US. Well, can I not be happy for the people? I understand where you're going with it, but I think you're being a little pedantic, which I do respect, of course, because I'm pedantic myself. But the idea is, at least the way I understand it, isn't it like a way, let's Google it. How about we Google it? How about we Google it? What is Memorial Day? Google, what is Memorial Day? Because I thought people say Happy Memorial Day. If you don't, then I apologize. But I thought people get together to, you know, whatever. We'll see. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. I understand what you're saying, but it says so Memorial Day is an annual federal United States holiday that is dedicated to mourning and honoring the men and women who died while serving in the US. Yeah, exactly. So I thought that honoring, I could say Happy Memorial Day to show. Of course, I'm not like, be happy that people died in your family when they were. I thought that was obvious, that I didn't need to specify that. So what do you guys say? What do you guys actually say? Yeah, honoring fallen soldiers. You say that's exactly what I thought it meant. Yeah, that's what I thought it meant. So like, what should I call it? What do you guys say? I'll just say, let me see. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to do this. Let's see. So let's see. What if I say Memorial Day stream? There we go. Save. Boom. Is that more correct? Is that more correct? Have an honorable Memorial Day. Cool. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If that's more appropriate, that's cool. We say you have some class. Let's see. Yeah, remembering the fighting men. Exactly, good Crusader. Yeah, that's why I like it. And then Carl says Memorial Day is not a day to celebrate. I disagree. I think you should celebrate the courage of the people who have fallen and given their life to defend your country and your freedom. It's the same reason why, like, for instance, imagine like the people, even that fought in Britain against the Austrian painters fan club, right? Or like that's something that we used to talk about when I was living in the UK. Although then again, the UK I remember is the UK from 30 years ago, not exactly the same. David Lopez says, I've never smoked in my entire life. Yeah. Me neither. And if you want to smoke, it's fine, but I think it's important to educate people not only on the health repercussions, but also on the financial repercussions, because you could get so much stuff. I've got so much fun stuff in this office. And one of the reasons is that, right? Even in Canada, we say Happy Remembrance Day. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And we have 3 in Europe. Yeah. Yeah, I hate smoking. I just don't. I never understood it. I think people begin smoking because of social pressure. So like you're a younger teenager, you're a teenager, you want to be looked at as an adult, you want to imitate the adults, and then maybe like for group cohesion. So like there will be other teenagers smoke. So if you smoke, you're one of them type of stuff. I think that's where it may start for some people, but then they get addicted, and once you're addicted, you don't need a reason. You know what I mean? Because once you're addicted, the addiction is your reason. And so for me, again, an adult chooses to smoke. It's your choice, and you can do whatever you want. But we should work a little harder to try and prevent teenagers to have access to it. And unfortunately, just not selling the stuff to them is not enough. Luckily, it didn't work with me. Social contagion didn't work with me. When I was like, of course, my fellow classmates when I was 13, 14 smoked. I didn't care. I honestly also didn't care what they thought about it because I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested. I don't care. So there is that. But that's what I believe. That's what I believe that would be. Yeah. Nowadays, I see both parents and kids vaping together. That is sad, Starling, because first, I think if you want to teach something, you need to teach by example, like lead by example. So, like, um, unfortunately, both my parents smoked, so I did not follow their example either. Like, literally, I was in the worst situation possible, and yet I still kind of believed, understood by the time I was 12. I understood, you know what, I don't think smoking is for me. I don't see the reason to it. It makes no sense. I immediately understood it was a social issue and not something that I would, because it's like, yeah, so there is that. But I think for me, that's the way I'm gonna teach it to my kids. And once my kids are adults, they can do whatever they want. But at least they will see that in the house that I don't smoke, my wife doesn't smoke, so they will see that kind of example in the house. And then hopefully that's gonna be enough. And that's what I hope. But then again, once they are adults and if you're like, Dad, I want to smoke, smoke. You're an adult. I've done my job at that point. You know what I mean? I think it's on the parents when they are young. It's on you to try and do the best you can. Yeah. Thank you very much, Tube, for supporting the stream. To celebrate what Veterans Day is for. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Okay, cool. I see. So Veteran Day is when you celebrate, and this is the day when you remember. That's fine. Cool. Thank you for explaining it. I appreciate the explanations. Thank you very much. As I say, I don't have a problem. If I say something incorrect and you correct me, I don't have a problem with it. If people are like act all offended, I can't believe that they can go to Dante's Inferno. I don't care about people getting offended. Too many people these days get offended for nothing. What did your family do under Mussolini? Asked Bigrago. Well, as I say, my grandfather was a colonel major in the armed forces, and he refused to join the fascist party, and that's why they handed him over to the Austrian painters German forces fan club, and they took him and brought him to Dachau and put him in a concentration camp. So yeah, that's what my family did during fascism. I'll probably make a video about it, but I would like to interview my father because and so they'll do the interview in Italian, put subtitles. The rest of the video is going to be in English, and I think it would be nice to share a little bit of family history because my dad tells me all the stories because my grandfather survived Dachau, and all the stories that he said are fascinating in the sense that it's firsthand. It's firsthand experience. So I think that would be interesting to see. And St. Nicholas has an interesting point of view. You say, so today celebrating those who died, especially in battle, Veteran Day celebrating those who are alive. Lovely. I appreciate both. Yeah, I have already become the kind of guy, I guess it's because I live in America, but I've already become the kind of guy that whenever I see someone and they tell me they're a veteran, like an older man, I'll thank them for their service. I think it's a beautiful thing that Americans do. And so I like gaining the things that I like from different cultures. I've done the same when I was in Japan. I lived in Japan for 4 years. And there are a lot of things that I learned from the Japanese, but then there were also some things that I didn't like and I didn't acquire those. And so I'm trying to do the same here in the US. I'm trying to have an open mind because I am the external. I am the alien in this country. And so when I come here and I enter this country, first of all, the first thing I'm going to do is show respect to the country and their traditions. And then after that, after I try to absorb and understand the way people live in America, which is of course very different to the way people live back home in Italy, in Sicily, even more so. Then after that, if there are a few aspects that I personally would criticize, of course, I will not acquire those, but I'm not expecting Americans to change their way of life because it may be different to mine. One thing that Americans tell me to do often is apparently I'm louder. This is something that happened in Japan as well. So it's like I'm very loud. Okay, I'm a very loud individual in the sense that not that I don't behave. Of course I do. It's just that when I speak, my volume is 12 out of 10 automatically. And so, like in Japan, the Japanese were always telling me, "Ah, すいません, ちょっと," always. And so, like, I try, sometimes I forget and I'll get excited again. And that's how I am. And so, okay, I've had that in America a little bit too. I mean, Americans are louder than the Japanese, but Southern Italians are louder than Americans. So there's that. Yeah. You're loud as well by Bakuya. Funny stuff, yeah. Would you? Melanie asks, so good to see you here. You've been coming to a lot of live streams. I appreciate that. Would you consider doing some more Latin language videos? I've been learning for about 6 months and have exhausted all your Latin content. And I imagine you also mean the specialized language channel, right? Yeah, sure, absolutely. I've recently posted something about Latin on my Metatron's Academy channel, the language channel. But yeah, sure, totally. 100% expect more videos over there rather than on this channel because I try to keep the language stuff on the language channel. But yeah, absolutely. I was actually thinking of going through the prayers in Latin as well, the Catholic prayers, because I've noticed people asking me about it. So I could read them in ecclesiastical Latin in that case, just so that people can learn how they're pronounced in the Italianate pronunciation, which is what ecclesiastical Latin is. That could be fun. Muhammad says, I'm the opposite, kind of struggle to raise my voice these days. Yeah, I understand. I think it's just it's of course it's a cultural thing. US louder than UK. How did that go over in the UK? I don't know, Jack. I think that the time when people in the UK are louder than the people in the US is when it's like hooligans or like football matches, maybe then. But otherwise, I would say, yeah. But still, Southern Italians are unbeatable. We're freaking loud. Goodness gracious, we are loud. I don't even realize it, by the way. It's just automatic volume. So question from Sombra. Have you tried Kobe beef in Japan? Yes. Actually, my boss a few times treated us with proper Kobe beef in Kobe. And it's fantastic. I love it, how it melts in your mouth, but it's expensive. Like a good cut of Kobe beef is expensive. Like really expensive. Tiger Star, can you make a video on how Japanese people view their hair throughout history? I imagine you're referring more like samurai hairstyle and ronin and the legislations. Yeah, that could be fun also because specifically in between the end of the Sengoku period and the beginning of the Edo period, so the time of peace, is when you see the majority of these laws that are actually written on how you're supposed to have your hair, particularly if you're a member of the Bushi class or the warrior class or not, and whether or not for instance, the idea of shaving, this was not a thing. In the 12th, if you look at 12th century samurai, for instance, 11th century samurai, they don't really have the shaven part. This happens later during the Sengoku period. It's officialized, made official even further later. And then there are people that shave even further down. So there are a few degrees of shaving, and the long hair is always a thing when it comes to the samurai, and I think it probably began in Iron Age Japan with the idea of nobility could let their hair grow because they don't need to do manual labor. I think that's also one of the reasons why even in European nobility, if you look at the Merovingian kings, they have got long hair, and the reason is that so long hair in our age is either associated with women or like with a metalhead, I suppose, rock star. But otherwise, you imagine the man, generally speaking, has short hair. But this is very recent development, and it's really the rise of the working manual class between the 1800s and then mostly the 1900s, in fact, is when, you know, men who are working, belonging to the working class, start like shaving the sides and keeping their hair short. But before that, long hair in men was something connected to nobility. So if we look at the Merovingian dynasty specifically, they are the ones that are the most famous about it because they have laws about it. But in general, this is the kind of stuff that we would see. So like long hair. Now, given his hair is like to the shoulders, little further down sometimes, compared to mine is short. Everything is comparison. It's a matter of comparison. But this guy is rocking it. This guy is rocking it with the mustache. Yeah, this guy is rocking it. This is me a few years ago. Hi, come in. The what?
I need the olive oil.
Oh, she needs the olive oil. There you go.
Thank you.
What are you cooking?
Chicken.
Chicken.
See.
Woo!
Hi, Chad.
Chicken. That's a noble bird. We got chicken. Yeah, look at this guy. Man, this guy, look at him, very relaxed. You know, it's a noble man because he doesn't need to work the field because, you know, very, very long hair may be a little distracting if you're a working man. So usually that's the connotation that you see. And yeah, as I say, the Merovingians are just the most impactful, I guess, example due to the actual regulations written. But in general, we could say that that's something we can, about the Middle Ages. Now, not all medieval knights had long hair. Some knights also had, you know what's interesting? Let me tell you this one. Sometimes, you know, the Norman knights had a shaved side and sometimes even shaved back. So they are kind of special, but that's kind of in connection with the Nordic tradition. So the Normans are a little bit of a special case. But in general, a lot of medieval knights that kept still, particularly if they were nobility, so actually titled, not necessarily a man at arms that fights in the manner of the knight, but an actual knight or a duke. They would have their hair kind of longish down here. Women always have longer hair than men, so my length would be too much even for a medieval person. They would think I have the hair of a woman, but or maybe some kind of mystic. But in general, the idea of having long hair is a thing. But medieval knights often would cut a fringe so that the hair doesn't get on in front of their eyes. So you know, like heavy metal guys in the 80s kind of sported that rock. That kind of look. Let me see. Heavy metal 80s. I want to show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, found it. So to give you an idea, yeah, you could expect something a bit like this. Maybe not as voluminous. I don't know if they were putting something, but like kind of a fringe with long hair. Some knights would have that hairstyle. Like these, as I say, this is too voluminous because these are like the 80s, the 70s that they apply in product. But imagine it natural, clean, because medieval nobility was clean. Imagine like medieval nobility clean. You could see something like this. If you really think about it. It's fascinating. Kind of like Conan. Yeah, I think Conan is a good idea as well. Conan. Let me see what we get. Well, not this Conan, although he does have a fringe. But like, yeah, this kind of look, totally. Medieval knight. Yeah, you could see that. You could totally see that kind of look, which to me looks awesome, by the way. I think it looks great. Medieval hairspray. Exactly. Aragorn is another one that has absolutely a hairstyle that can be congruent with quite a lot of medieval knights. Yeah. So, absolutely. Yeah, see, it's kind of, he basically has it shorter so that it doesn't block his vision, but the rest is kind of long. That's a good look. That's a good look for someone like who's medieval. Yeah, probably I'm more like an elf when it comes to length. Yeah, I'm more like an elf when it comes to length. But the Aragorn, totally. It's a good look, by the way. I think Aragorn looks awesome. I think he looks awesome. So there's that. And then we can, of course, back all of this up with medieval iconography, because they do show us. You give us mystic vibes, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Have you seen the duel Knight versus Samurai in channel Dequiten asks Petrefax on Twitch? Yes, and I've already filmed a react to it, and it will be posted probably tomorrow, because I thought it was really good. I actually reacted to it live during a live stream, but then I edited it together and added a few things, and then I'll post it as a regular video, yeah. Sorry, did I misspelled it? No, I think it's fine. Would I duel that guy? Who, Dequitang? I think it would be really cool to make a video together, yeah, like that. I wouldn't be against it. Absolutely. I don't know when I'm going to be in Germany, though. Could you imagine Italian knight versus German knight? Man, I could wear this helmet for it. He's got a very similar helmet. And let me see. We got a super chat from Michelle. Thank you. Since it's Memorial Day and smoking topping, fight a pilot, smoke, or use nicotine because higher blood pressure helps counteract G forces. A high BP means more blood to the brain while pulling G's. Man, that's I didn't know that. Wow. Well, I guess it must be tough to be a pilot like that. Am I right? Yeah. And then the Andrew says, highly recommended. Latin to everyone, such a great baseline for language. I think Latin is a beautiful language. Yeah, I would always give priority to modern spoken languages, but unless you have like a passion for it and you want to be able to read the classics, that's one of the great advantages of learning Latin. Not only there are 14,000 current speakers that do speak Latin, so you can have a conversation in Latin. It's just that not that many, but it's still 14,000 people. But it's not really for that. It's mostly, to me, the most beautiful thing about learning Latin is being able to read the sources without having to use someone else's translation. Because a translation is necessarily an act of modification. And sometimes it's not too bad, but other times, without access to the original language, you will lose at least some of the original meaning. So there's that. So if you're into the classics, ancient Greek and Latin are wonderful languages to pick up. And Tube says, thank you for the support. Thank you. You're not originally from the US. Good conversation. Appreciate. Yeah, I'm not. I'm Italian. And we got another super chat in the meantime. Thank you, Evil Black. You're always massive supporter of the channel. Leviticus 19:27. Cutting your head is wrong. Yes, I know. I'm out of context, but I don't care. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, actually, context is very important when you read the Bible and you talk about hair, because, of course, I get occasionally people that give me the words of the Apostle Paul. I think it's specifically from, is it in Corinthians, when he's like, it's a disgrace for a man to have long hair. Well, Paul was a Roman citizen, so of course he thought that way, but then again, he was also a Jew. What this means is that Paul would absolutely understand. He was speaking to the Corinthians, first of all. So when he said writing that letter, it doesn't mean that letter is now to be understood, that that's a commandment. It's not a commandment, but it's not necessarily to be understood for all Christians everywhere, because he was a Jew. So he gave for granted, dare per scontato, he took for granted the fact that long hair is a sign of alliance with God. Samson in the Bible, for example, he would have been familiar with it, and it was God's decision that Samson should not cut his hair, and that was the source of his superhuman strength. Likewise, so if long hair unequivocally was a sign of of disgrace for a man, then why is God himself using it as a form of alliance? Not to mention the Nazarite pact is another suggestion. So Paul would have been familiar with all of that, and so would have been early Christians. So I think when he's talking about that, he's really having a conversation with people in Corinth about their culture, and clearly not in any religious scenario. So it's not an absolute take. It's a specific contextual take. And so there's that I think needs to be considered whenever we speak about that. And that's that, yeah. Benjamin says, I need a haircut. Yeah, sure. So there's that. You were watching Lord of the Rings yesterday? Cool stuff. Talking about watching, guys, let's have a look at what we've got for this video, shall we? Let's have a look. Someone said I look like a dwarf to you. I'm 5'9". How am I a dwarf? I can't be a dwarf. I'm not tall, but I'm not a dwarf. No, I think dwarfs are cooler than me. Are you joking? Like a massive, strong dwarf? I like that. I don't have that, man. Okay, so what we've got is, as we continue with this wonderful stream, we've got this video called Every Historical Misconception Debunked in 10 Minutes. Now, you know me. I love debunking, but this channel has got 1.2? No, 1 million. Yeah, over 1 million subs. The Paint Explainer. How about we check this out and see how well they do? Let's have a look. You wish you were 6 foot? Yeah, I wouldn't have minded myself. But hey, such is life. 10 minutes and 6 seconds technically. You're right. I love your pedanticism, Big. Absolutely. All right, let's have a look at this. Number one. What is number one? What is number one?
Cleopatra wasn't genetically Egyptian. She was of Macedonian Greek descent, a member of the Ptolemaic dynasty established by one of Alexander the Great's generals.
Based. We are starting based. Now, given that was 8 seconds, though. So, I mean, yeah, but then again, he's trying to keep it short, isn't it? Based. So this guy did not have anything to do with grammar. It's a good start. It's a good start, I suppose. It's true. I mean, at the end of the day, it's so silly. Yeah, Ptolemy. I mean, the Ptolemaic dynasty inbred. They inbred to keep everything, quote unquote, pure. So yeah, Cleopatra was Greek, all right. Salve Darth Metatron. Hey, Dakus. All right, number two. This is. Do you know which emperor this is? Does anyone know which emperor this is? What emperor are we talking about? In the meantime, I'm having some chocolate. That's what I'm having in the meantime. I'm having some chocolate, guys, because it's good. No, it's not Caligula. No, it's not. Yeah, it's Nero. It is Nero. Yeah. Well said. Believe it or not, Trenchy, you're telling me that an inbred queen can be that hot? Believe it or not, she wasn't famous for being beautiful. I'm not saying she was ugly, but I'm saying usually she was more famous for her culture, for her intelligence, for her language abilities, for her diplomacy. She was never really mentioned as being that beautiful. I think she would have been average. Like, no one says she's ugly. No one is like, man, how did Julius Caesar even make a kid with that? They don't say that. But no one really mentions her. So, like, I would imagine that the first representation that we have of Cleopatra with, who is it? Liz Taylor, is it? I don't know. She's too beautiful to be Cleopatra, in my opinion. Yeah, when you see the neck beard, is Nero, guys. Nero is the first neck beard in history. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go.
Roman Emperor Nero did not fiddle while Rome was burning. This story likely originates from later historians to depict Nero's alleged neglect and misrule. Nero may have played the lyre, but it's uncertain if he did so during the fire. The Trojan
Okay, ooh, Trojan Warrior. This is kind of fun, actually. I like this. So, yeah, Nero. The situation with Nero is interesting. When we read the whole scenario when it comes to Nero and the burning of Rome and how he blamed it on the Christians, it's mentioned in Tacitus and Suetonius. Tacitus is the one specifically who talks about the scapegoating of the Christians. Did he play the lyre? I mean, it's difficult to know, really. I would also say I don't necessarily believe that detail, because it's true that posthumously a lot of Romans did that, particularly when it comes to anti-imperial propaganda. I think it's Dr. Shaw who's the one who also mentions a few things like that. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, do also remember that it's under Nero's reign that both Peter and Paul die. So yeah, Nero was a pretty brutal emperor. I tend to believe that maybe it's been exaggerated a little bit, but it wasn't all there. It wasn't all there in the head. It was like a freaking psychopath. I do believe that. If we could do a psychological analysis, which I did do a little bit, by the way, on a video of mine already, but if we did a deep psychological analysis of both Nero, but even Claudius, yeah, these guys, or Elagabalus is another one. These guys were not all there. But yeah, there is a certain element of propaganda in there for sure, so it's difficult to believe, but was he really playing that? I wonder why they focused on that specific detail, but cool. Tiberius was a boy lover. Personally, when it comes to Tiberius, Kuhn, maybe he was, but Tiberius may have, because he got worse as he aged, right? And so at the end of his life, Tiberius' sexual preferences was really basically debauchery. Like, he was violent, he was nasty. So it's very likely that he had some kind of mental issue, like actual schizophrenia is one of the possibilities that I've read when I was examining the emperor's psychological profiling, which I did read a few things about. So when it comes to him, it really got worse as he got older. So it's possible that it was pathological in nature. So not that the guy, it's not, when it comes to that emperor specifically, a little bit Claudius as well, it's not a matter of sexual preference. It's a matter of, yeah, this guy was, it was pathological. It was pathological. It's one of those situations, I suppose. But yeah. Hey Colin, thank you for supporting the stream. Do you believe that Diocletian and Galerius' Christian persecutions were as severe as stated, or is it mostly of it Constantinian propaganda? It depends, because already when we have the division between the East and the West, the level of persecutions of Christians change. But it did happen. So there is no question that Christians were persecuted. I have a dedicated video, in fact. And there's no question Christians were persecuted. The only thing is that it depends on what period we look, because at the very beginning, Christians were even considered as their own religion. Like, to us, it's obvious. Christians were a religion, Jews were their own religion, right? And then the Roman had their own polytheism. But in the very beginning, it's very likely that to Roman authorities, Christians were just another sect of Jews. We have to put it into perspective. Gradually that changes. And then eventually, particularly when Christianity starts spreading in Rome, that's when the Roman authorities start to perceive it as, no, that's its own thing. Because do remember that one of the major differences, there are a million major differences when we go into the doctrine between Judaism and Jewish beliefs and Christians, even early Christian beliefs. But then again, when it comes from the perspective of the Romans, what's really important is not the minutiae of the doctrine. They don't care about that. They really don't. What the Romans care about is how religions interconnect within the strata of Roman society. And the major difference between the Jews and the Christians then and now is that the Jews don't proselyte. In fact, if anything, as far as I understand it, and if anyone here is a Jewish by religion, Do tell me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, it's even discouraged within Judaism. Like, it's not easy to become Jewish if you want to, because it's very much of a cultural thing that they keep to themselves. Christians, even in early period, instead were proselyting. It was a proselyting religion. Get more Christians, get more Christians, get more Christians. And so that's when the Romans see, oh, these are not just another type of Jews. These are not just another type of Jews. And yeah, cool stuff. 444, hello. Hello, everyone. All right, let's continue. What's next? So far, the video is fine, by the way.
Rule. Nero may have played the lyre, but it's uncertain if he did so during the fire.
Okay.
The Trojan horse did not exist. It is merely a story from Greek mythology, made to exaggerate and mystify Greece's win over Troy, as there is no archaeological evidence to confirm its historical existence. Christopher...
Okay. Fair, I guess. The only thing I wish to add to this is that, yeah, sure, we don't have archaeological evidence for it, given it's wood and organic materials, so this is, but regardless, I understand. Yeah, it's very probable that it was symbolic. But symbolic not necessarily for what he said. So listen to him again.
It is merely a story from Greek mythology, made to exaggerate and mystify Greece's win over...
No. So I disagree with the channel here, because first, I do believe that the War of Troy did happen. I've already expanded on this on several videos, so I'm not going to go into the details for it, but for the sake of argument, to give gramping that one for a moment. Let's say that the Trojan War did happen. Then it's not necessarily from Greek mythology. A lot of what we read in the ancient texts, in this case, it's a mix. It's exaggerated, of course. There is mythology into it, but there definitely were conflicts between Greek city-states, so the Greeks, and for example, the Hittites or people in the Anatolian Peninsula. And so, yeah, there is always a little bit of truth into it. Now, I believe that the siege of Troy happened in the modern city of Wilusa, which is in Turkey. But yeah, we could discuss that. That could be debated. You could tell me, you believe that because of this? And for example, there are several mentions in Hittite archives in the capital of the Hittite Empire that make it sound like this actually happened. But let's say for a moment you don't believe that. I can respect that. But regardless of whether the siege of Troy happened or not, the Trojan horse is symbolic, not necessarily to say, "Oh, look, they were stupid because we made them think that this was a gift, and then we go on." It's not that. It's more subtle than that. I think the Trojan War could be a I think the Trojan horse could be a connection and a representation with the god Poseidon, Poseidonas in Greek, so Neptune, Neptunus, because Neptune is both the god of the seas, and Poseidonas in the later iterations, and of earthquakes. And one of the symbols is the horse. It is one of the symbols, and this is something that would have been obvious to people of the period, even though it's not so obvious to us. You know how we spoke about Lord of the Rings a minute ago? Well, there is some symbolism that we would all understand. Oh, someone has got pointy ear. That's an elf. I don't need to explain it to you. So likewise, this is something that it's something that could be lost, for example, in 2,000 years or in 3,000 years. And people see someone with pointy ears and they're like, well, do they have a malfunction? Do they have a malformation? No, to people of our period, it's obvious. That's an elf. So likewise, the horse is a representation of earthquakes. Earthquakes can be connected to Poseidon. And the city of Wilusa, which is what we believe to be historic Troy, has some sections that absolutely demonstrate that there was an earthquake and that the earthquake made some of the high wall fortification crumble. So, in my opinion, this is just an opinion, an educated guess, but in my opinion, as you look at it from period sources, the association between the fall of Troy and the horse has a religious connotation to it, and something that people could have understood. The horse, earthquake, Poseidon, Neptune, the god is on the side of the Greeks. He destroyed the walls, they fall, and that's symbolic to it. This is how I see it. But yeah. Thank you, Batman, Batman is supporting the stream, guys. Have you seen the Tartaria stuff? It's hilarious. No, I haven't. No, I'll have to check it out. Thank you for letting me know. Suppose we build a large wooden rabbit, says Evil Billy. Yeah, I mean, we could do it for Easter, right? And Colin, yeah, I've already read this one, but thank you again for the support. Very much appreciated, guys. You're great. Okay. Next.
Over Troy, as there is no archaeological evidence to confirm its historical existence. Christopher Columbus did not discover America. Long before Columbus arrived in 1492, numerous indigenous civilizations, such as the Aztec, Maya, Inca, and various tribes across North and South America, had been living on the continents for thousands of years.
Right.
These indigenous peoples discovered, explored, and developed these lands long before any Europeans arrived. Furthermore, Viking explorers, led by Leif Erikson, established
Yeah.
a settlement called Vinland in what is now Newfoundland, Canada, around the year 1000, nearly 500 years before Columbus.
Okay, let's unpack this a little bit. So, when we say the discovery of America, obviously is from the point of view of medieval Europeans, because they didn't know at that point that America was a thing. Technically, if we want to be pedantic, we could say that it's a rediscovery because of what he just mentioned with the Vikings, but I wouldn't be so sure, because if you think about it, where the Vikings went and where Columbus went are so far distant that even though it's technically the same continent, the two things are still relatively unrelated. So yeah, from the point of view of the Europeans, Columbus did discover America, but clearly there were, from the point of view of human history, then no, because if you want to look at it from the perspective of the native populations like the Maya further down south, but whatever, the Aztec, Mexica and whatnot, then clearly it's not like they discovered themselves. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll take it. I won't be too pedantic about it, but I do think that he did discover it from the point of view of medieval Europe. So in that context, it's not wrong to say it. But from the human history, then fine. I'm fine with that.
The Middle Ages were not an age of stagnation in human development.
Yeah.
This age saw the establishment of the first universities in Europe, such as the University of Bologna,
Oxford.
the University of Paris, and the University of Oxford, as well as great advancements in the fields of medicine and math in the Muslim and Indian world. Newton did not come up with his theory of
Okay, yeah, that's right. He's correct. Absolutely. Newton, what about Newton? Hey, Rev, thank you very much for being here.
advancements in the fields of medicine and math in the Muslim and Indian world. Newton did not come up with his theory of gravity when an apple fell down from a tree and hit his head. Newton did see an apple fall, which led him to consider why objects fall towards the earth. But there is
I've never heard of that. Have you ever heard of Newton being hit in the head with an apple? Let me know in chat. Because I've only heard this one. So the Newton, yeah, this was kind of a moment of an intuition when he saw the apple fall, which then kind of began a whole series of events in his head that led to the discoveries that he did. Oh, you did? Okay. As a kid. Wow. Man, I kind of want to share this. Look at this. Chat says they did. Both chats. Okay. So we got a lot of, look at that. Very common story. Cool. Well, I never heard it. I wonder if maybe it's not common in Italy. I want to see, because we do have an Italian here. Did you hear it? Let me see if it's cultural thing. Daniele, I think you're Italian, right? Daniele Fabbro. Did you ever hear it? Because I've never heard of it that way. But as I say, maybe it's more common in other areas. Where are you guys from? Can you tell me? Because I see a lot of you have heard it. Can you type where you're from right now? So not only in America, okay. New Zealand, look at that. Fabbro, Italia, Friuli, Venezia, Giulia. Okay, and did you hear it? You're from my dad's region. Did you ever hear of this? Because I only heard of the one in the... But maybe it's just me then. I didn't know. I think they're right to debunk it then. Very cool. Tomichiko from Czech Republic, Poland, USA. Look at this, man. I love how international this community is. I really like it. Bong is also from Italy. Ok, tu l'hai sentita mai dire sta cosa della mela in testa? I never heard of it. But that's just me. Cool. Brazil. But I knew it mainly from cartoons. Ah, I see. Yeah, maybe some kind of cartoon that I was too busy. In Russia too. Goodness gracious. Seriously. They told you in school? Man, crazy. I wonder why. Maybe I wasn't paying attention that day. Cool stuff. Well, thank you for sharing that, guys. Appreciate. Well, then he's right to debunk it. Appreciate that. Next.
There's no evidence it hit him. George Washington did not cut down a cherry tree during his youth. The cherry tree is an anecdote meant to illustrate Washington's honesty and integrity. It served as a moral example for young Americans, emphasizing the value of truthfulness. Benjamin Franklin
I had no idea. I think this is a little outside my area of expertise, but so I can't tell you if he's right or wrong about that. Wouldn't it be funny, though, if the story's false about, who was it? Was it Washington? Would it be funny if the story's false, but he actually did cut one just for fun? I mean, the story would still be false, but it would be real that he did cut it. Well, who knows? I haven't got a clue, guys. You say he's right? Very nice. Okay. Well, so far, the channel is good. Benjamin Franklin, what did he not discover? What did he not discover? Oh my gosh.
did not discover electricity, as ancient Greeks had already observed static electricity, and by the 17th and early 18th centuries, European scientists like William Gilbert, Otto von Guericke, and Stephen Gray had made significant discoveries about electricity. Ninjas did not wear...
Oh, ninja! Personally, I'm not sure how much I would... That's the only thing I'm going to say about this. Because he's right. But I don't know how much I would consider the ancient Greek understanding of the idea of static electricity to really be considered as, well, they knew about electricity. It's a bit of a stretch. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Quintilius Varro in ancient Rome, because he did talk about, there's this book, it's written in Latin, of course, where Varro is telling people where to settle. And he's telling you specifically, you should not build any settlement, homesteads. He said, do not build homesteads near swamps. And the reason why he tells you not to do that is not because it's not clean, because that would be obvious. No, he says specifically because near swamps, you have minuscule animals that are invisible to the eye, that enter the body through your mouth and nose and cause all sorts of diseases. So, this is a fascinating thing to read from someone in ancient Rome, imperial Rome. And it's germ theory. Now, would I say that he discovered germ theory? No, he didn't have a clue. However, it kind of tells you that, and this tells you that people, when they see a result, they can still somehow, even when they don't have access to modern science, retro-engineer the cause. And so they are creating a causal link. He doesn't know about germs, just like the ancient Greeks didn't really understand electricity the way we do. It's still fascinating, though, that they did kind of have a hinge. And it's smarter than... Yeah, absolutely. Very smart. But again, I wouldn't say that Quintilius Varro, discovered germ theory, right? But it is still intriguing. When I read that the first time, I had to go read it in Latin because I'm like, oh, this is insane. So I read it in Latin, and we confirmed it, and I'm like, yeah, he's saying invisible to the eye, minuscule creatures. He even says animals, he calls them, I think, bestias. Maybe he also uses that term. I'll have to review it. Anyways, we got a few super chats, and this is fun. And well, there you go. Ray Gonzalez says, Happy Memorial Day. Thank you. Same to you. And what else have we got? Yes, and then we have... Evil Black, thank you for the support. He's right, Washington's cherry tree and Lincoln walking 6 miles to return a library book were both BS. Back then, people didn't expect political rhetoric to be true any more than we expect modern cola ads, to be honest. I understand. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for contextualizing for us. Thank you very much. Next.
And by the 17th and early 18th centuries, European scientists like William Gilbert, Otto von Guericke, and Stephen Gray had made significant discoveries about electricity. Ninjas did not wear all-black outfits as they are portrayed in modern media. Historical ninjas typically dressed to blend into their surroundings, wearing practical and close-fitting clothing appropriate to their environment and missions. Ancient Greek and Roman...
Okay, yeah, he's right about the ninja or shinobi, if you want. This outfit is not a thing. The sword, we can talk about the sword a little bit, because swords that had a square tsuba and were shorter and straight are present in iconographies, just that they're not ninja sword, because that would be absolutely moronic if you have a sword that tells everyone you're a spy I guess your intelligence is not going to work very well, is it? Because anyone is going to look at that and be like, oh, that's a ninja. So, of course, that's not a thing. But the sword exists and it's present in iconography. It's possible that it was like a munition grade, low level sword that was given to Ashigaru, half samurai, low level samurai. And of course, if one of these ended up being part of intelligence, or if actual spy, an actual shinobi no mono in feudal Japan was, let's put it this way, putting up the disguise of a low level samurai, then it is, in fact, historically plausible to think that a ninja historically has used a sword like this. That's possible. But the little thing that he's wearing here, no, that's not a thing. In fact, not really. Yeah, and the reality
as they are
is
portrayed
that,
in modern.
I apologize. The reality is that they would, they would dress to blend, like he's saying. So you could dress like a soldier. You could be part of the military, so you would be wearing your bushi clothes, your armor. You could be. Imagine that you're a ninja in feudal Japan who is a master linguist, and he understands Chinese, Korean, classical Chinese. He understands several regional varieties of Japanese, and then he's infiltrating, right? He could dress up as a monk, a Buddhist monk, just to hear, like to listen to what they're saying, because they don't know. It's a skill that it's in his head. So in that scenario, he would dress to blend. He's absolutely right. Absolutely. Yeah. Rumble asks a question, what about kunoichi? So I do believe that they existed, I just personally don't think they were trained in combat. For all the evidence I've seen, kunoichi, meaning the female ninja, is a thing. They are mentioned in the sources. I think they would have been used, once again, to infiltrate. So you go to another people's castle, you start working in the castle. You might use sexuality to seduce people, and then when they sleep, you slit their throats. But the idea of a kunoichi that is such a strong warrior that can take on a samurai in full armor in combat, I don't see that. I don't see it, personally. But yeah. Hey, Mr. Terry History, so good to have you here. Let's give him a shout out. Hello. Let me see if I can do... go to channel very quickly, open in a new tab, because Mr. Terry History is the man. He's the man. He's really good. I love his content. What have you been doing lately? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, you debunked the same thing. Fantastic. Wow, you debunked it. Oh no. It's part of the original title, so no. Cool. So you reacted to the same. Very cool. And then yeah, you should. He's an actual history teacher, doing all sorts of cool videos. I love having you here, man. Thank you very much for joining the stream. Very appreciated. And so, yeah, we're on the ninja. We're on the ninja, my friend. Let me just move the chat over here again. Absolutely, Terry. So good to see you. This was a fun video. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. It's pretty good. It is pretty cool. Let me see. Yeah. Thanks for the shout out. Hey, absolutely. In fact, you deserve more. I should be we should work together one of these days, man. We should do something together. If you're up to it, I'm up to it. Okay, let's see what's the next one. What's the next? Bring it on.
Media. Historical ninjas typically dress to blend into their surroundings, wearing practical and close-fitting clothing appropriate to their environment and missions. Ancient Greek and Roman statues were not all white.
Yes.
They were originally painted in vibrant colors.
I love that he chose the one representation of this statue that is white as well. It still keeps the super white skin, like literally. But yeah, he's correct. He is correct. Absolutely. Statues in period were all painted, and let's see what else he says. But this is kind of funny though. Yeah, this is Snow White, guys. This is Snow White.
Known as polychromy. Traces of paint found on many sculptures reveal that these statues were not the white marble we see today, but colored to enhance their lifelike appearance.
Okay, this is a better, absolutely, yeah. Very true. They even painted the eyes. The ones that are usually painted are the ones that are in fact marble. If statues that are bronze, as far as I understand, and I guess Mr. Terry will correct me, but as far as I understand, the bronze statues, they were not usually painted, and when they wanted to represent polychromy within those type of representation, statuary representation, they would just use different constituents in the different types of bronze, as to, for example, have the helmet look like a shiny, dull gold, and then maybe the face is going to have a different chromatic variation because you're using essentially different types of bronze. I think that's how they achieved polychromatic variation in bronze statues. But when it comes to marble, painted 100%. Okay, so Luna says white marble statues look better though. So I think it's also a matter of what we are used to it. But believe it or not, medieval people in the Renaissance were sculpting, like Michelangelo, the David sculpted by Michelangelo is white. So white marble statues do exist. For instance, there are a lot of those in the Vatican, but they're more of a medieval thing and Renaissance thing. Classical antiquity is a period of bright colors everywhere, not just in statuary, but also in architecture. The temples, the columns of the temples would have been reds and blues, with the rest like painted white as a canvas in order to then put yellows and greens and blues. Classical antiquity in the Mediterranean world is a world of color, immersed in color. And to me, that's gorgeous in that period. Now, I understand that white statues have something of a solemn look. I like them. But I think they're a better representation of a different period, which is the Renaissance at that point. That's how I see it. So bronze was, Daku says bronze was the skin, but sometimes the hair would be painted. That's possible for the bronze, yeah, sure. That's why I say with the bronze one, I have to review it because I haven't read it in a while. But it's absolutely true. Yeah, Mr. Terry also likes the white better rather than the... And I think it's because now we are used to this, aren't we? That we are used to seeing this. And when we look at this, it looks a little strange. But I have come to liking it, particularly when you see it in context. Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Because I have a video dedicated to this. And it's titled, You Are Wrong. I know. I'm a little clickbaity sometimes. Metatron. Let me show you. 1 second. Your idea of the past is wrong is the title of the video, yes. So it is this video here, and there is a deep analysis of not only the kind of colors. I show a lot of examples of these statues. Like, for instance, I've chosen this. I think this is this is one of my favorite recreations in color of the statue of Augusto della Porta, right? Di Prima Porta, that's the one. And one, because it shows the purple. This would have cost so much. It would be like showing off a little bit of a Lamborghini these days. The hair I would have made a little lighter because his hair was light brown. He wasn't blonde, but he wasn't a dark brown. I would have gone for a little lighter, but it's still fine. His eyes were either gray or blue. That's what we're told. Of course, his skin would have been this because he's a European of this period, of this specific area. That's correct. And then everything. I think this is a gorgeous statue, by the way. It's very beautiful. Do keep in mind, as I often say, this is not the original arm. This is the third time it was recreated. The original arm, he was holding a spear, business end, on the floor. But I've got a few other images, I think, here that I show. Yeah, for example, that's the look of a column period. Look at that. That's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Now, the color wasn't removed. The color is just gone because 2,000 years, my friend. That's what 2,000 years will do to color. I can tell you more about how pigments react to time and the exposure to the weather, though, because there are various ways in which that happens. But for now, let me just show you. This is another example of what some temples could have been decorated, the way they could have been decorated. Let me see if I can show you more statuary. Because yeah, there we go. So here you can see the traces. Look at the traces. You can see she had kind of a reddish hair, the brown reddish hair. Same for the eyes here. So this would have been fully in color. And these two, we can see yellow, We can see the colors, the red mantle, a little bit of brown here, a bit of green. They're still there. Anything else that we can show? This one as well, columns, green and... Can you imagine an entire column, green and red? It would be gorgeous. Gorgeous. And look at this, like blue and yellows, bright colors everywhere. Yeah, so that's... Now, this is the other thing I wanted to show you. This is a representation, I think it's a mural in Pompeii, if I remember correctly. And what's fascinating about this is that this is a statue, and it's painted inside the mural. Because to the Romans, of course, the statue's got to be painted. Isn't this fascinating? This is a moment frozen in time that gives us access to perspective that has been gone for over 2,000 years. So we are looking at their world from their eyes. And from their eyes, the walls are red, the columns are red, the statue is in color. Yeah. What did they use to make the paint? Asks Mr. Terry. That depends on the color. Like, for instance, some colors in classical antiquity have a different price depending on how you make them. Of course, they didn't have access to generally chemical colors like we do, so now we can have access to any color we want. For purple, they used seashells, but usually these seashells come from Carthage and in general northern Africa, and they're extremely expensive also because you need 10,000 to dye one item of clothing. So only the rich could afford purple in period. When it comes to blue, it depends. There is cheap blue and there is expensive blue. So when we go into using indigo and that kind of stuff, there are types of blue that are very rich, that are very expensive. But then there are types of blue that are a little more faded, and those anyone could afford. When it comes to green, it was quite expensive, not as expensive as purples, but green was quite expensive because you needed to first dye your tunic yellow and then apply a second processing period in order to turn it green. And that's why green is found in iconography, but when you see it, it may be an indication of at least an upper middle class. And for instance, sometimes we see green represented with Roman gods, which I thought was cool, because the other way that you see usually green in connection to soldiers is Asterix and Obelix. Romans, they're all green, and I think they didn't do it necessarily for historical accuracy. I think they did it just to give it a little bit of a special take, if you think about it. But the Romans are all green. But then again, it's fun to think that indeed at least some gods are documented to have worn green tunics. So I thought that was an interesting parallelism right there that we can take. So it really depends on the color. The ancient Roman soldiers would have used red and white. When I say white, I mean pure white. And that white would have been used for parades. So the Roman soldiers would be wearing white for parades. And then they would be wearing red for combat because it was a representation of Mars. The Romans are the sons of Mars, right? That's how they identify themselves. And so they wear red because it's a strong color. That's why it's one of the major colors used in politics as well. It has an impression onto people. And then it also gives them an idea of fierce, right? An entire army in red is strong. But then again, oftentimes if the Roman legionaries of course they had other tunics, and some would have been undyed linen, which probably was the most common. And that's where I'm going to leave it, because I can keep on talking when it comes to this, but I kind of want to continue the video. Yeah. So there are also, yellow is considered a woman's color. Because Sombra is asking, wasn't green and orange considered unnatural for men? Yellow is, because it's connected to the priestess of Vesta. The Vestal virgins were yellow. So yellow was considered unmanly. And that's interesting, because today pink is the color we associate with feminine and girls. But for the Romans, pink was quite virile. And in fact, it's a virile color all the way up to, I want to say, the 40s, maybe 50s. Okay? Thanks for the info. Absolutely, Mr. Terry. Thank you for the good questions. So yeah, color changes a lot. The thing that doesn't change is my favorite color is blue. Specifically, electric blue. is my favorite color. One last thing that I want to tell you about pigmentation is that the way pigments react to time varies depending on a lot of variables. Sometimes pigments fade, and that's the most logical in like from when it comes to an intuition. You would think, well, yeah, if something is 3,000 years old, the paint is going to fade. But sometimes, particularly when it's indoor, pigments can become darker. And I've read an entire study from the University of Florence that demonstrated specifically on the tomb of Seti the first. Goodness gracious, I didn't even prepare anything for this one, and we're just rolling. Tomb of Seti the first in Egypt. This is one of the tombs that it's usually used. Yeah, it's an oxidation. It's one of the tombs that is usually used by Afrocentrists to push the idea that the ancient Egyptians were black. Now, as you know, I do believe that a percentage of ancient Egyptians, particularly in Upper Egypt, due to the proximity to Nubia and the Kingdom of Kush, would have been black, but a lot of Egyptians, in my opinion, would have been Semitic and would have had olive skin. I know I get hatred for this, but I don't particularly care. Now, this is one of the wall paintings that are used to kind of push this idea. But what we need to understand is that what we see, these colors, and this has been proven scientifically, these colors are darker than what they would have been in period. This was proven by a whole team from the University of Florence. And in fact, sometimes when we see the hair, for instance, of some of the women, like you see here, you see it black, it was blue. The original hair, they reconstructed the original look, and the hair was blue, but it became black due to the way the pigment changed over time. And then this tomb is fascinating. This is, of course, this is not a period original, but it's a recreation of the different people that are represented on the walls of the tomb. The one on the right being the stereotypical Egyptian, and I personally find this hue of light brown to be consistent with the way they made their own skin, which was by mixing red with brown. This is a typical Nubian or a Kushite. This is an Asiatic, and the people, when you see the ostrich feather, then these are Libyans, and yeah, and that's where we are at. Fascinating stuff. Original female hair blue, yeah. Exactly, that's the first blue hair is in ancient Egypt, guys. It's in ancient Egypt. Hey Legetu, so good to have you here, and Petit Trianon on Twitch. All right, let's continue.
During the Middle Ages, most people weren't unhygienic. Public bathhouses were common in towns and cities, and in urban centers, waste management was a big concern. Furthermore, religious practices often emphasized cleanliness as a part of spiritual and ritual purity. Medieval torture devices
He's correct.
were less commonly used than often portrayed, and many famous devices like the Iron Maiden are likely more myth than reality. The use of chastity belts during the Middle Ages was not a common practice. They were introduced by a German engineer as a form of satire during the 15th century, so it's very unlikely that its use during the Middle Ages was as common as it's normally portrayed. The 100 Years' War did not last.
To add, it didn't last 100 years. How much did it last? I don't remember. 106, 116? Gosh, I don't remember the exact. Damn it. I hate it when memory fails me. Anyways, we'll see. The thing about the chastity belt as a meme, medieval people, we often have this image that, medieval people were super Catholic, right? Super Christian, super Catholic, very religious. So the split second you say something like sexual, they're going to be all pious. And so they're going to be all like, oh, how dare you? That's how we sometimes imagine it. The reality is that it's insane. If you look at the jokes, the double entendre, and the sexual jokes that are found in medieval Europe, it's all over the place. Medieval people are quite foul when it comes to their language, and sexuality was often used as a joke. Given, would you make a sexual joke inside of a cathedral in front of a bishop? No. But then again, we also have to distinguish the regular people and their everyday regular life. And if you read the funny stories, it's all about sex when it comes to medieval people. It is. And it's funny. It's really funny. Yeah. Marge Simpson, ladies and gentlemen, was an Egyptian. Marge Simpson was an Egyptian. Sir, I've got to say this to you. One moment, please. One moment. You won the internet today. You won the internet today. That was nice. That was cool. Very cool. Okay, guys. Let's continue.
100 years. It lasted 116
16, I got it right. I should have not said 106. 16, I remember there was a 6.
years, from 1337 to 1453, despite its name suggesting a century-long conflict. The Black Death was not spread by rats, but by the fleas on said rats, which transmitted the plague bacteria to humans.
Yeah.
The fall of the Berlin Wall did not cause the
Yeah, I mean, of course, there is a lot more to say about the spread of the Yersinia pestis bacterium. Technically, you could say that rats are conducive to the spread, because it's not like I can imagine the fleas flying all the way to freaking Europe, at least. That is pedantic, yeah, but I appreciate pedantic, Titan Bro, so I'm not going to use it against him. I'm Mr. Pedantic myself. By the way, I'm going to make an announcement right now, guys. I'm going to make an announcement right now. It's going to be a big announcement, so you get ready. You get ready for the big announcement. I'm making a new plushie. It's going to be great. It's going to be me. Hopefully, we can release it for the 1 million subscribers, unless YouTube stops having people subscribe. In that case, we'll release it anyways. But yeah, we're making a plushie. And the word pedantic is going to be on the plushie. Wow, that's amazing. Wow. Pedantic. I need to stop with these plugins, guys, but I just can't stop myself. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's just one of those things. We're gonna have a mini Metatron with the word pedantic on it. It's gonna be pedantic edition. We're gonna have a limited edition. The pedantic edition is gonna be great. Behold, the Metatron is pedantic. And after that, let's go.
which transmitted the plague bacteria to humans. The fall of the Berlin Wall did not cause the unification of Germany. Although it marked the beginning of the end of Germany's division, the formal reunification of East and West Germany occurred on October 3, 1990.
Pedantic,
Cowboys
let's go.
are portrayed in a very exaggerated manner in modern media, often being described as lawless and chaotic people. Many frontier towns had organized communities with relatively low crime rates, and cowboys often worked as cattle herders and ranchers, contributing to the development of the American West. They also
Hey, pretty cool. I mean, I don't know anything about cowboys, I'll be honest with you, but nice. Yeehaw.
did not wear cowboy hats. Joseph Ignace Guillotine did not die by the guillotine. He died in 1814 of natural causes. Not all gladiators were slaves. Many were volunteers who chose to
Okay,
fight.
I like this channel. You know what? I gotta do this. Guys, massive W in chat for Ray Gonzalez with 20 gift memberships. Unbelievable. Thank you so much, Ray Gonzalez, for that. That's amazing. Fireworks immediately for Ray Gonzalez. Massive W in chat for Ray Gonzalez is the man. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate. Let's have. Well, we need a little spotlight here. Spotlight. Ray Gonzalez, thank you so much for the 20. Thank you so much. Really appreciate. Spotlight. Thank you so much, guys. Man, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ray. You're the man, Ray. You're the man. And also for those who just received the membership, do keep in mind that we will have a 30 minutes, as we always do for every live stream, 30 minutes just with members in chat, in the sense that everyone can stay, but only members will have access to the chat. So do stay until the end. Are we 500 now? So we started at 75. Guys, 495 members. 5 more to go. We hit 500 members tonight. Unbelievable if that happens. I was not expecting that. Make it happen. Number ones. Become members to the Metatron. channel. Yeah, I really should have not learnt about these plugins. I really... Boom! 500 members. Thank you, Ray Gonzalez. Massive W to Ray Gonzalez, guys. This is the day. This is the day, guys. This is the day. Thank you, Ray Gonzalez. The legend. The legend. And Daniel. And Daniel as well is the man. Thank you so much, Daniel and Ray. You guys are incredible. 505 members. We need to have Evil Black as well. Boom. This is insane today, guys. Today, guys, is the day. 510. Daniel is the man. Evil Black is the man. Ray Gonzalez is the man. You guys are legends. 510. Massive W. Massive W in chat. We're gonna do some filter. We're gonna do a little special effect. Let's go. We got the special effect. We got the special effect. We got the monster
voice. Thank you very much. This is Sparta.
We got the angel voice. This is Sparta. I should probably say this is heaven with the... Let's do this is heaven. This is heaven. We got the angel voice right. Massive. Thank you so much, guys. Unbelievable. I really appreciate you guys. You're amazing. As always, your support means the world. Thank you very much. I'm just still messing around with the freaking... Let's get a bloom effect. Let's get a bloom effect. Let's get a bloom effect, guys. We need some... Wow. Yeah. So really appreciate that. And we have another one. We have J Lucky. Massive W for J Lucky. Thank you for 10 memberships. We now reached, kind of losing count, 515. Maybe 520 by now. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate the support. A lot of new members today. So do remember, for members, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Do remember, guys, the members, I'm going to post a video very soon when I'm putting on the new wonderful Foot Combat closed helm that we're going to test a little bit. It's going to be posted soon for members. So that's going to happen. And as I was saying, we're going to have a members-only section, as in always in every stream. So, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. You are the best. And I'm going to mess around with more plugins because I just can't stop myself now. I've got too many plugins. Too many plugins, guys. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much, guys, for your generosity. You are awesome. And I just turned off my headphones. Professional streamer right there, guys. Professional streamer right there. Hey, I can bring in a fire if I want. How about that? And also someone was saying, what about Matrix? We got Matrix on this channel as well. We got Matrix. I got it all. I got it all, guys. I can even put myself... I can, like, imagine... I got to show you this. Imagine that I wanted to do a reveal. Man, I could have done it. I want to do a reveal and I don't want to necessarily show the helmet. I can put the helmet behind glass. Like this. So you know there is something. Man, I could have done it. Next time I'm going to do the little glass effect. How about that? We're going to do the little glass effect. So, yeah, I started with all of these special effects because of Twitch, because I've been playing video games on Twitch and I like using the effects, but I'm going to use them on these live streams as well. Thank you so much again, guys. You're amazing. Thank you for all the generosity. And let's go and see, because I got something to say here. Let's see what he says about the gladiators, but he started strong. This guy's based.
Of natural causes. Not all gladiators were slaves. Many were volunteers who chose to fight for fame, money, or to pay off debts, though many slaves and prisoners of war also became gladiators. No one...
Okay, so he's correct. Since he's pedantic, I think he's going to appreciate my pedanticism as well, in the sense that when he says many were volunteers, I don't think we can substantiate the word many necessarily, but definitely there was a certain number of gladiators that were volunteers, others were prisoners of war, and others would have been slaves. So he's absolutely right that was a thing. And as he says, sometimes they do it because they need to pay debt. Other times it's because, I mean, it is a possibly lucrative career if you think you've got the skills. Like, imagine if you're a strong man, you know how to fight. You're like, you know what, I want to be a gladiator. I'll do this for 5 years. If I survive, then, you know, maybe I will. It's something that people would have chosen sometimes, although often they do it because they are in desperate economic conditions. Absolutely. But he's absolutely right. You know who is not right about this? I got to show it. I got to show it, guys. You know me. I don't care if I make enemies online. I've got you. You are the best. You are the ones that are going to allow me to speak my mind anytime it needs to be said. This guy. So, super big shot, Professor Roman historian, on his dedicated video, when he spoke about gladiators, he said gladiators were all slaves. He does not talk about the idea. And in fact, he even tries to kind of debunk it, which is nonsense because it's in the sources. We know it happened. So, big shot professor doesn't know, but little channel with drawings knows. Where are we going? What's happening to academia? Not everyone, okay? Before people say Metatron is anti-academia. No, I'm anti-clowns in academia. But I'm not anti-academia. I think there are plenty of academics that are fantastic. But there are some people that just... I can't help it, guys. I can't help it. But that's it. Little channel with drawings. Well, not little, because 1 million. But the drawings are little, okay? This is correct. This is correct.
Or to pay off debts, though many slaves and prisoners of war also became gladiators. No one actually jumped off buildings during the crash of the stock market in 1929.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Germany
Good
did
news.
not invade the Soviet Union in the winter during World War II. Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union, known as Operation Barbarossa, began in June 1941. Lady Godiva did
Okay, he's going very fast. So, yeah, I mean, so far, so good. Yeah, you were saying, what does SPQR mean? Yeah, so I think you're referring to this, of course, the video. So I think we know that it means Senatus Populusque Romanus, so the Senate and the people of Rome. The reason why I put that on the thumbnail on this video is because, yeah, he translated that correctly. Because, I mean, if you're a Roman historian and you don't know what SPQR means, it's we are in trouble. So he does know that. Just like he knows that Emperor, what's his name? Septimius Severus was not black, but he still says he was black for politics. But regardless, he knows that. But then there is a section of this video. I gotta show you. I gotta show you because you need to see why. I need to show you what he does because I put it at the very beginning, anyways. So it's gonna be very simple to show you what we are talking about. And here it is, Metatron, Simon Elliott. Yeah. So check this out. And also want to say thank you again to Ray Gonzalez, who is the man. What can I say except you're welcome? Yeah, you're great, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. You're the man. You're the man. So good to have you here. Remember, every day, 5, Monday to Friday, gonna be here. So look at the beginning. Check out the beginning. 1 second. Look at this. You ready?
For those who really, really, really want to know, the translation is Senatus Populusque Romanus.
Yeah. Okay?
The translation is Senatus Populusque Romanus.
Now, I understand. I know what you're going to tell me. You're going to tell me, but Metatron, relax. Not everyone needs to know Latin. I get it. But he's a super top historian. And he said, if you really, really, really want to know. And then he says,
the translation is Senatus.
I'm going to correct him. I'm pedantic. I mean, that's what you're here for. That's what you got. That's what you get. So it's Senatus, long vowel,
Populusque Romanus.
Populusque, all short vowels, because if you say populus with a short vowel, it's people. If you say populus, it's the poplar tree, but this is supposed to be pronounced
Romanus.
Romanus. The O is also supposed to be long. Now, I know what you're going to do. I know what you're going to do. You're going to say, but Metatron, he doesn't need to know. I understand, but if you teach something, you need to know it. So, if someone asks you, what does SPQR mean? He should say, it means the Senate and the people of Rome. He shouldn't teach it shouldn't read it in Latin, because people are going to listen to that. They're going to be like, well, this is a big shot. Big shot. So clearly he must be right when he says, and so they're going to bring it home. And I can't stand it. I cannot stand when people learn something wrong from a figure of authority. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Given I'm a Rome fanboy, okay? I admit it. I am a Rome fanboy. I'm a fanboy of Rome, okay? So that's also one of the factors as to why this makes my blood, which is diluted pizza, boil. I get it. But I just can't imagine the little student who is watching this is like, wow, big shot, big shot. And then he says, Senatus Populus Romanus. And then they repeat it that way because Big Shot said it. Big Shot should study it. If you really, really want to know, study it. Sorry, I went into a little bit of a rant, I suppose. Okay. Just checking. Let's go. Yeah. I know. Metatron. No. Stop it. Exactly. Because I know people are going to say that, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine. Admit it. I'm a Rome fanboy. What do you want from me?
No one actually jumped off buildings during the crash of the stock market in 1929. Germany did not invade the Soviet Union in the winter during World War II. Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union, known as Operation Barbarossa, began in June 1941. Lady Godiva did not ride a horse naked through Coventry as a form of protest against high taxes. Historical evidence suggests that this famous event was likely a myth rather than a factual event. Marco Polo did not introduce pasta to Italy.
Boom! Marco Polo! Ladies and gentlemen, listen to the man. I would rather listen to this guy than to listen to... Yeah. No, he's right, by the way. I'm going to be pedantic a little bit. It's possible. If we want to say noodles, perhaps, yeah, but pasta existed in ancient Rome.
After his travels to China. The myth began in a newsletter published by an association of American pasta makers called the Macaroni Journal. Pasta was common in Italy many years before the birth of Marco.
He's right. And not even many years before the birth of Marco Polo, but pasta, there is something kind of similar to lasagne in ancient Rome. Clearly, they didn't have tomato because tomatoes come from the New World. So they didn't have pasta with sauce, but they did have something kind of similar. They did. Yeah, I mean, maybe noodles may have been... It's possible that he did bring some food from China. I'm not sure about that. But then again, yeah, good point. Pasta, guys, pasta. I need to make another pasta tier. Man, I wish known. It's just that the algorithm does not push those, unfortunately. We can't have fun on this platform, I swear. All right.
Marco Polo. Spices were not used in the Middle Ages to mask the flavor of rotten meat. During the Middle Ages, spices were an extremely expensive and luxurious item, and those who could afford them could also afford meat. Julius Caesar.
Not even that, but I mean, rotten meat. It's maybe if it's meat that it's a tiny. I think in India they do it for curry. They used to do it if the meat is not like the freshest, but not rotten. Rotten meat is gonna send you to the other side, as in fact happened with Roman legionaries who did eat some rotten meat. And there is a description in one of the sieges. I think it happens in somewhere in the Middle East, and a lot of legionaries died because they ate some rotten meat because they were starving and they didn't have salt, and salt at that point was used to conserve the meat. So that there is a discussion about it. But I mean, who's gonna be like, look, it's literally decomposed with all the flies, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of spice, which I don't know where they're getting them from, a little spice, so I can finally now do what? Commit. Do what? Yeah, so there is that. What about Julius Caesar? Julius Caesar, let's go.
Did not invent the Caesar salad. The dish was invented in Tijuana by a man named Caesar Cardini, an Italian-American cook.
Oh, was he an Italian-American cook? For some reasons, I thought he was Latino. I didn't think it was Italian-American. But yeah, is there anyone? Come on, chat. You gotta level with me. Anyone who actually thought that Caesar salad was named after Julius Caesar? You gotta level with me. Level with me, please. Tell me no one believes that. Tell me we don't actually need to make a debunking video on that. Because could you imagine Julius? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Could you imagine Julius Caesar as he's conquering, he's like slaughtering the Gauls, and in the meantime, he's like, you know what? I fancy a salad with a little bit of dressing and the crumbs, breadcrumbs. You believe that? Come on, Daniel. Well, now you know. Now you know. Julius Caesar did not slaughter the Gauls after having some salad. Okay? Let's put it this way. I think if anything, the guy would have had some meat, some wheat. Meat and wheat. Cheese, sure. A little vinegar. A little vinegar. Yeah. Okay, some people did believe it. Hey, anyways, we're here, guys. We're here for you. We're working for you. 24/7. Spread the truth. Debunk the nonsense. That's what we're doing, guys. Great to have you here. Fantastic. So, let's reiterate. Julius Caesar did not eat the salad, and that's not the reason why he was stabbed to death. Today's the day. Let's go.
Dish was invented in Tijuana by a man named Cesar Cardini, an Italian-American cook. Ronald Reagan was never a serious candidate for the role of Rick Blaine in the 1942 film Casablanca. Although an initial studio press mentioned Reagan, the studio was already aware that Reagan would be unavailable due to his incoming military service. Hitler did not create the Autobahn as the construction began in the Weimar Republic era. Hitler significantly expanded and promoted...
It's Austrian painter. Let's not get this demonetized. I don't need another yellow dollar, okay? It's the Austrian painter and then the Austrian painter fan club. That's how we call it.
The Autobahn for economic and propaganda purposes once he came to power. Mussolini did not make the trains run on time. Many of
Man, look at that man's
propaganda
face.
Purposes once he came to power. Mussolini...
This is probably the most iconic face that Mussolini made. There is something about his speeches on the balcony, on balconies, for example. I've shown some in my videos. He is such a demagogue. That is insane. How theatrical he was is crazy. Is crazy when it comes to Mussolini. He will do this and then he go like after he says something and then he will. Like, it's crazy. But it worked. Because then again, it might look weird to us today. But then again, some things make us cringe. And they're from the freaking 60s or the 70s. I love the 70s, by the way. And the 80s and the 90s. Give me the 90s above any other decade. And I will not apologize for that 90s rule. With that being said, yeah, I mean, culture changes, things change, and there are things that we do that they would have cringed at, and there are things that they did that today look cringy. But then again, it's one of those things. What happened to freedom of speech, says Rip Van Wickle. On what context, mate? Like about what? And then we have Cassius, sorry for putting you next to Mussolini, but here we have been watching your great indie horror game videos. Thank you so much. On the gaming channel, right? Yeah, I've been having a great time. I'm gonna post one tomorrow, by the way, because I've got a really good one. Got a really good one coming up soon. Yeah, 90s. Yeah, 90s, guys. Let me show a little love to chat a little bit. Looking good. I'm having a great time with this video, by the way. These guys did a good job. Thank you, Ray. I just love how Benito says spaghetti. How does he say it? I don't remember him saying spaghetti, but he had, yeah, even the way he spoke was very theatrical. It was all part of the persona. It was all part of the persona, 100%. All right, let's go.
Mussolini did not make the trains run on time. Many of the punctuality and efficiency achievements of Italy's rail system were either exaggerated by propaganda or attributed to work that began before his rise to power.
Yeah, you try now. You try now to get on a train that leaves the station on time in Italy. Yeah, good luck with that. It's like when you see, if the thing, just so you know, if the thing says Freccia Rossa, the red arrow, it's one of our trains, Freccia Rossa, departure, 3 p.m. Yeah. You're probably looking into 4:30, more likely, just so you know. Just so you know. Not always the case, but I've had situations like that. The only time in which the train leaves the station on time in Italy is when you are late. It's
all
like a
American
law.
colonists wanted independence from Britain. The colonists were split into three main groups: patriots, who supported independence; loyalists, who remained loyal to Britain; and neutrals, who were either indifferent or undecided.
I gotta give it to you guys in America. You got the best flag. You got the best flag on the world. I freaking love the American flag. It's something between the connection, the stars, the blue, the red. It looks really good. Union Jack looks cool too, though. Did you ever see that it's a mixture of the Scottish flag in the back and the English flag in the front? Did you ever notice that? That's what it is. The Union Jack is Scotland and England. They should have put a little dragon, because I mean I feel a little bit of underrepresentation for the Welsh here. So we need a little. Or do they represent the Welsh as well? Do they? Yeah, I wish they had a dragon. Well, yeah, Welsh flag is amazing. I love the Welsh flag. But if you think about it, just to show you, yeah, flags are fun. Flags are fun. I love flags. So like, yeah, see. So that's the Scottish flag, which is the background there, and then we add English flag. I see it's a big. Okay, this is not the English flag, you muppet. This is the English flag. That's the Union Jack. My gosh, Google. That's the English flag. And so, yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is. Welsh, however, Welsh is epic. Welsh flag is epic. I gotta give it to you. A dragon? Yeah, who wouldn't put a dragon on a flag? Why don't we all put dragons on flags? I don't get it. Yeah. It's a good one. Is it a fascist dragon, though? This could be... We gotta be careful if it's a fascist dragon, because the arm is a little dangerous. Arm is a little dangerous right there. Yeah, look at this. Okay, I vote for this, guys. I'm gonna do a poll. I'm gonna do a poll right now. Start a poll. Add the dragon to the flag. Union Jack. I wanna do a poll. Yes, you muppet. No, you muppet. That's it. We're gonna poll it. I'm gonna poll it over here as well on Twitch. We're gonna poll it because polls matter in this chat on this channel. Polls absolutely matter. Question. Boom. Responses. Yes, you muppet. No, you muppet. There we go. And we'll have it last 3 minutes. Start poll. All right, people. Power to the people. Did it do it? Yes, we did. Current poll. Lovely. So let's have a look. We got Twitch and YouTube. Let's see who's thinking what. Twitch and YouTube. Let's go. That should be now. Even the green little bit I think is pretty cool, but that's a lot of colors. So I'm okay as long as they give me the dragon. That we drop the green, all right? I mean, I would add the green because I like colors. But if someone tells me, "Well, Metatron, I'm not going to get a green there," okay, then add the dragon. Add the dragon. Put Metatron on the flag. Yeah. How are we doing? 80% yes, you muppet. 73% yes, you muppet. Think it's looking good. Think it's looking good, guys. I think we can, if we build a strong enough case. We can send it to the, I was about to say to the Queen, but that would mean to send it to freaking the next life. So no, let's send it. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. We don't need a Ouija board. Let's send it to the King. Let's send it to Parliament. What are we gonna do about it? That's great. It's wonderful. The dragon in the crosshairs. I mean, that's one way to see it. Make the green normal white and the dragon green. Problem with that, I see where you're going with that. But the red dragon is Wales. So you gotta preserve. You know me, race swapping, not even between dragons. If the dragon is red, the dragon is red. Okay? Not even race swapping between dragons. I'm not having any of this. Used to be a gold dragon and they turned into a black dragon. No, sir. Not gonna have, not under my watch. So, if the dragon was black, don't you dare turn it into a red dragon. If the dragon was blue, which also means it's spitting lightning rather than fire, don't you turn it into a gold dragon. It's simple. So this dragon is red. Okay? Let's respect red and let's keep the dragon the way it is. Like keep the dragon the way it is. That's what I'm gonna say about that. So, how we doing? Almost done. Look. The timer is going, guys. This could be a generational event. This could be a split in a timeline. This is a split in a timeline. It's gonna cause a butterfly effect. You have no idea. You have no idea. God, me dragon. Yeah, I guess in Europe, red usually it's connected to the left, but in America it's the other way around. It's almost done, guys. The Mandela Dragon is ready. I'm gonna send this to the English Parliament. I swear, if there is a way to send a physical letter to the English Parliament, I'm actually doing it. GG, guys. 74% said yes, you muppet. 25% said no, you muppet. 116 votes. Thank you very much. If you're English, your history has just been changed right now. We want a dragon on the flag. You can do whatever you want with the green part. I don't care. As long as you put the dragon, that's the flag. Don't even want to hear it. Sorry. Little digression there. Let's go.
Walt Disney was not cryogenically frozen. He was cremated, and his ashes were spread across the Forest Lawn
I'm sorry, what?
Memorial Park in California. The Mayan calendar did not predict the end of the world in 2012. Scholars and experts have clarified that this date...
Little Nostradamus there, giving me a little closer. Who thinks Disney was cryogenically? Man, that would be a little sci-fi twist. Could you imagine that?
simply represents the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. Much like our own calendar starts a new year after December 31st.
Right.
Not everyone in the colonial era wore wigs. Wearing wigs, or perukes, was primarily a fashion trend among the wealthy and elite classes, including politicians, lawyers, and merchants, particularly in the 17th and 18th centuries. The Pilgrims did not land at Plymouth Rock first. They initially landed elsewhere, possibly in Provincetown. Plymouth Rock later became a symbolic site, representing the location where they eventually...
I'm sorry, I'm gonna add a little cyberpunk effect because he said cryogenesis, cryogenetically. Wow, boom, let's go. Let's go.
Eventually disembarked and settled, but it is not the precise spot of their first landing. The Vikings were not a unified group, but rather a collection of seafaring Norse tribes and communities from Scandinavia, including present-day Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. The Spanish Inquisition did not...
Yeah, it's a good video. Good video. Let me see what he says about the Spanish Inquisition then. Let's go.
Kill millions of people. While it was responsible for persecuting and...
It is exaggerated, and also Inquisition happened after the Middle Ages. Oh, sorry. Am I even showing the video? Oh, yes, I am. Most of the witch trials happen after the Middle Ages. Some Inquisition did happen in the Middle Ages, of course. But the witch trials are post-medieval. They're not a medieval thing.
Executing thousands, particularly Jews, Muslims, and heretics. The actual number of people killed is estimated to be in the tens of thousands. Ferdinand...
Still too many, but, you know. Good question. So, yeah, Craig correctly states, I love pedantic comments. Thank you very much, Julian, for the support of the stream. Very much appreciated. You're the man. So, so Craig was saying they were not Vikings, only the guys in the boats are the Vikings. Yeah, you're correct, because of the verb to go on a Viking. And I think at least in the modern sense, they pronounce it Viking or something like that. I don't know. Regardless, yeah, you're right. They're Norse. They're Norse. The populations are the Norse. I think we got to a point where now people just say a Viking shield, or if you say a Viking shield, I mean, since we understand each other, I'm okay. I think the one thing that really doesn't make sense is a Viking child. What the heck is a Viking child? Could you, at this point of a Viking child, doesn't really make sense. It's a Dane, right? It's a Dane. It's a whatever the heck, Swedish. Viking child kind of makes me laugh, because then you're implying that the child is actually going on the I think that's where I would draw the line personally. Have I finished KCD2? No, not yet. I've been like distracted by other games lately, so not yet, but I do plan on playing it again. Yeah, the pirate thing is like, some Norse would have been traders, some Norse would have been merchants, some Norse would have been mercenaries, and some Norse would have been raiders. Absolutely. So it kind of depends. Yeah. Yeah, I'll stream it. Well, yeah, definitely. On Twitch, probably wild, but I'll stream it, yeah. I've seen some children that raid a village. Goodness gracious, yeah, you're right. Maybe those we could call Vikings. Yeah, it's a Norse. It's a Norse. Absolutely, yeah. You're part Swedish. Very cool, Kristen. Very cool. All right. Yeah, no, I think so. Usually I don't watch the entire video. So let me see what else we've got. We had... oh, it doesn't tell us. So there is another one of my gladiators. I got to watch that. Skip. Beethoven, was it? Skip. Single event. Okay. Well, maybe this one and Rome, a little more Rome. I'll watch a couple more and then I'll stop. So what I need to watch this one though. What is he gonna say about the? My guess is he's gonna say that not all gladiators died, which is true. I think that's the guess.
Gladiators did not always fight to the death.
Yeah.
While some matches ended in death, many
Yeah.
were designed to entertain the audience without necessarily being fatal. The decision to kill a defeated gladiator was often influenced by the crowd's reaction and the wishes of the sponsor of the games. Isaac Newton
But he didn't do this. This is also another thing I wish he debunked. This is not a thing. The only mention we have, maybe, and that's a massive maybe, so do take it with a grain of salt. But the only possibility when it comes to at least some emperors is that if the thumb was inside the hand, it means spare his life because it represents the gladius inside the scabbard. Do you know how you say scabbard in Latin? Let me know. And then if the thumb is like this, then it would have meant end him. But even that we're not 100% sure. I'm going to show you how you say Latin no, almost. I'll show you. Let me see if we go to Google Translate. Let's do a little linguistic education here on the Metatron's channel. I'm going to do English Latin. That's the word, ladies and gentlemen. This is the word for scabbard in Latin. We can appreciate that also because, I mean, at the end of the day, the sword goes into... I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that. And thank you very much for joining the channel. I guess we always learn something. It makes sense. Hey, the Romans were logical. What can I tell you? Imagine if someone joined the stream right now. What if someone joined the stream right now and thought, what on earth did I get myself into? I can already imagine their faces, to be honest. Like, well, they go... I can imagine it. I can imagine, like, the people literally looking at the Latin and going, wow, Latin is such a nice language. I can imagine all that, guys. But, yeah, this is what you do in this channel. We'll learn a lot of fun and interesting things. All right, so, yeah, gladiators did not... Some gladiators died. Some get demonetized. Some gladiators did die. But it wouldn't be financially viable to train someone and spend so much money into turning him into a good combatant that can win for you, and then they die at every... It's nonsense. Yellow flag incoming. Yellow flag incoming, guys. Well, it's fine. I'm going to re-edit this if needed. What happened here?
the city. The Roman Empire did not fall in a single event in 476
Of course.
AD. The Western Roman Empire is often considered to have officially fallen in 476 AD, when the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer.
That's actually a fun thing, that the last Roman emperor, his name is Romulus, which is also the name of the first Roman, at least when it comes to mythology, Romulus. The first one was Romulus. The last one was Romulus. Isn't that a fascinating twisting of events? I really think it is. Yeah.
Last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer. The Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantine Empire, continued to exist for nearly
Ottomans
another
at the
1,000
end.
years until the fall of
Yeah.
Constantinople in 1453. Vincent van Gogh did not
Yes, and then really there are a lot of reasons as to why the Roman Empire fell. And if I had to choose, it's a really deep topic, and I have a dedicated video that is like freaking 40 minutes long. But if someone asks me, can you choose one word? I would say political corruption. So corruption in the upper echelons of society. That's not one word, Metatron, but what did you expect? So let me get this straight, Metatron, for a moment. Wait. Because I need to do some self-analysis here. I'm going to need some professional help. One word, is is corruption in the upper echelons of society. Is one word. I need professional help. Van Gogh, is that how they pronounce it? Anyone here knows that?
Cut off his entire ear. In December 1888, he
didn't.
severed part of his left ear, specifically the lower lobe, during a mental health crisis. He then wrapped the severed piece in cloth
That sounds like a mental health crisis, all right.
and delivered it to a woman at a nearby brothel. The Pilgrims and Native Americans did not
Wow. Did not?
have an harmonious relationship. Initially, the Pilgrims had a relatively good relationship with the
Well, yeah, I guess we know that. All right, so let me see. One more we want to do. One more. You're not talking about the vomitorium in ancient Rome. I love talking about that. No? No. All right, anyways, I'm going to give him a like because he deserves it. This was a very good. I was not expecting this, I'll be honest with you. I came here expecting absolute, complete, utter nonsense. And I came out of it with a pedantic gentleman that actually did a pretty good job. So, cool stuff. I'm going to subscribe. What else does he offer, by the way? We might watch something more next time. Credit where credit is due. We'll see what else he offers, but up to this point, I liked that. Who would win? Obviously, the Roman soldier. What are you even asking me? What if a single modern marine platoon fought an entire Roman legion? Glory to Rome. Hey, guys, I might have an answer to this. You know what I mean? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to give you the answer, right? I'm going to prove it. I want to prove it to you, but Metatron, this is speculation. I'll show you speculation. Playlist. I'll show you speculation. Interactive videos. And then I'm going to click this one. Because that's what you deserve. I've done it. I have done it. I have done it. That's my friend. That's another friend. That's me. I did it. That's another friend. Ad laxare. Okay, he's going for it. He's going for it. Woohoo! There he is. The Muppet. Trigger discipline, my man. Yeah, you see, it's actually an interactive video. I used to make these. They used to be a lot of fun. And then basically you choose, you're playing as the modern Italian guy, the soldier here, whatever. And you get to choose what to do. And the story continues depending on what you choose. And you can click in the description and the story evolves depending on what you choose. It's kind of fun. And I've got one on Samurai versus Ninja, one on Imperial Roman versus Viking. I used to make these and it was really fun. And then I made the Project PCI, which is a very long, 450 unlisted videos. But maybe before, if you want, you can check it out. But I would say if you have YouTube Premium, this is going to be very easy to do. I kind of gave you what to do tonight, by the way, after the stream. I just created your entire... you can have fun with these. But yeah, the Project PCI is 400 videos deep, and it's the most recent one. The only thing is that it sometimes the ads can be distracting, so I'm thinking of removing all ads from Project PCI. I'll do that. It's just it's going to take some time to do it, but I will do that eventually. I'll remove all ads. Right now, I'm sorry if the ads are a little annoying on that one. But anyways, that was the answer to the question. Very good channel. This is my other video that I pulled up just in case I needed it, but I didn't. What we're going to do now, we're going to jump into the final 30 minutes of this wonderful stream that has been wonderful thanks to you, of course, and all the people. And we might need a little C. Let's go. Let me see. Thank you. I don't even know why I did that, but I did it. So what we're going to do now is that members are green. So I'm going to turn myself green very quickly. Where am I? One moment, please. Boom. I'm green. I'm not going to be green for the rest of the thing, okay? I'm not going to be green for the rest of the thing. I'm actually even wondering if I even showed you the screen. Did I even show you the screen or no? I don't even know if I showed you the screen. I hope I showed you the screen and I just put myself full screen now. We'll see. But we're going into members. Yeah, I think I did show you. You would have told me. Let's go into members, guys. So right now, let's see who's going to be the last regular comment. And then I'll reopen it again, by the way. And usually during these member sections, more memberships tend to be gifted. So if you stay, even if you're not a member, you might become a member for free. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pompey. I need to show this. Guys, it's Pompey. He is the last I need to show you. I need to show you. So members chat stays on screen the entire time. And yeah, Pompey, thank you, the Eye of Province. You were the last one to leave. You won the little race at the end. And to everyone else that is here now for the next 30 minutes, I need to say it. Welcome to the Inner Circle. So good to have you here, guys. Thank you so much, members, for supporting the stream. You guys rock. And thank you everyone, of course, as well, that I've seen. Please consider becoming a member if you haven't, because we have some good time with members. And yeah, we're going to have a little bit of interaction. We might even play some games. We do this sometimes with members. I mean, maybe, I'm not sure if tonight I'm going to play a game, but usually I do. Have I heard of Pope Joan? She literally was a woman. Well, I heard of it. I'll have to look into it, though, to double check the historical authenticity of that. But that could be an interesting topic. 100%. That could be an interesting topic to discuss. So we might do that one of these days. Let me check the time. So 8:15. Yeah, we are going to continue till 8:45. Welcome to the Inner Circle, noble ones. Does the Wokatron or Metachud win a Roman gear duel? We could try and put the Wokatron against the Metachud and see who wins. What I'm going to do, if we ever do that, it would be so funny. We're going to have the Wokatron in blue, the Metachud in red, and then we're going to have them one against each other. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Can you check out Armor King teaser from Tech? Oh, Armor King. Tekken Armor looks nasty. Oh, no. Armor King... But wait, which Tekken though? Tell me which Tekken, Kwang. Because I'm aware of Tekken, of course. Are you talking Tekken 7? Not with respect to Rome, but modern soldiers have supersonic flying lead that gives no fly. Oh, well, yeah, you're absolutely right. You know what the problem would be when it comes to ancient Romans and like having to take on the Romans with modern military is that if you run out of fuel and ammo. Like if the modern military, if a Roman legion comes to our place, they have, to our time, they stand no chance. But if a modern army is like a battalion is sent back to ancient Rome, yeah, they would destroy the Romans for the first few confrontations, but eventually they'll run out of ammo and they'll run out of fuel for the tanks and armor division. At that point, when you have to take on ancient Roman veteran soldiers in hand-to-hand combat, then my money's on the Romans. My money's on the Romans. You could do whatever you want, but my money's on the Romans at that point. So it's one of those situations. 100 strands of noodles versus 1 Metatron. Who wins? I don't know, because I'm going to eat all of them and then I'm going to be sick. So probably the noodles. Tekken 8. Let's have a look. So Armored King Tekken 8. What have we got? Oh no. Yeah, this guy doesn't like it either, does he? Let me put the... What have we got? Mamma mia. I mean, to be fair, it's theatrical armor, because he's a wrestler. Armor King is a wrestler. In fact, I liked Armor King already in Tekken 2. I don't remember if... Armor King was a Tekken 2 character, right? He wasn't in Tekken 1. It was a Tekken 2 character. I liked him more than regular King. I like Armor King more. But yeah. Yeah, the armor does not look good, does it? No, but he's still badass, though. I think Armor King is badass. I do think he's badass. All right, I'm going to remove the green filter, though, because it's nice. But maybe not the entire time. How about that? How about that? I could have an alternative color. Wow! Woohoo! Look at that! Okay. I'll stop, maybe. I could bend the screen a little bit and make it like a CRT. And then we'll give it a VHS effect. Man, I love this. Anyways, I need to stop. I really need to stop with all of this stuff. It's just that I can't help myself. I love it. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Night vision. Yeah, that was kind of like night vision, that effect. I love it. It's too revealing about your lizard people nature. Someone mentioned the lizard people, guys. Someone mentioned the lizard people.
The reptilians will not back down.
Someone mentioned the lizard people, so I had to do it. Fun effects. Man, I'm having a time of my life. I'm having a time of my life with all these effects. I'm telling you this much. Metatron thought on resurrection in fantasy and how common it should be. Man, that's such a good topic, Nicholas. You always have great questions. I think resurrection should always be, regardless of the setting, it should always be a high tier, like really high tier spell. Whether it be, you know, white magic, whatever you want to call it, clerical magic, and it shouldn't be too common. Yeah. Besides, maybe does resurrection? How does it function in D&D? Does resurrection? Can you use resurrection if someone has been dead for too long? I don't think so. I think you need to resurrect within a certain given time. So that already is a little bit of a limitation onto it. One thing I love from Final Fantasy games, and I don't know which other games do it, but I love it when in a fantasy setting, you use healing magic and it damages the undead. I love that. So you do like a healing and the like the skeletons take damage because you're healing them. I love it. So in that sense, resurrection could completely destroy an undead creature, and maybe to not make it too overpowered, I would say yes, but it only works if the spellcaster is high level enough, and so like you wouldn't be able to do it against a supreme lich lord. It wouldn't work, but you could do it on like lower end undead, and then maybe if you're really powerful magician, then you could do it on a vampire, as long as the vampire is not too old of a vampire. That's how I would, as a former DM, used to DM a lot when I was younger. That's how I would balance it if I wanted to introduce some home rules. Thank you so much, Julian, for supporting the stream. I find incredibly the people in the media, let's just say the R word, the people in the media that states Elon Musk is a N word. My goodness gracious, I need to censor half of your thing. You want to give me a yellow dollar sign, mate, for doing the salute while completely ignoring his past action. So I have a dedicated video to the situation, not to mention the salute, right? It's not even a Roman salute. Some people call it a Roman salute, and I was about to say Roman salute now, but it's not a Roman salute. That's nonsense. So there's one thing I want to say. Yeah, I mean, these days, I don't know about the political leanings of Elon Musk. The way I understand it, he's a Trump supporter. He's a full right-winger. Like, would he be an ultra-conservative? Like, I would consider Matt Walsh an ultra-conservative. I don't know exactly Elon Musk, and I'm not that interested into the man's politics. He's a rich guy, and I'm not that interested into rich guys' things. I do use X. I think it's wrong to burn Teslas. I guess that's a regular, nonsense, logical thing to say. I think the people that do that, they shouldn't do it. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't exactly know the situation. What I do know, though, is that this word has been used so much that now I just roll my eyes whenever I hear it. So what's going to happen is that you will find a neo Austrian Painting Club supporter. And in that case, absolutely is an N word, not the N word, but the other N word, political N word. And then I'm not going to believe it. I'm going to roll my eyes because I've been called one and I'm not. So that's my situation, really. But thank you for the support. Elon goes where the money flows. I mean, yeah, he's a businessman, isn't it? First and foremost. Yeah, so it's one of those people. It's one of those things I meant to say. Robotic Division is supporting the stock now, really? The Andrew. Yeah, I see. I think that he used to be far more left-leaning before the whole woke. Yeah, no, me too. I think it's a similar situation to what happened to Joe Rogan politically, because Joe Rogan was old-school Democrat. the way I understand it. Remember that I'm not a political commentator. I kind of want to specify that because these days a lot of non-political commentators mention and talk about politics, usually in connection with culture wars. So that's the prism of culture war. But a lot of people have been commenting politics, and occasionally I do. Usually I speak more openly about my personal politics on Twix, on Twix, guys. Metatron may be a nice guy, but you give him a Twix and the guy becomes a political extremist overnight. Just never give a Twix. You know what? You know what's really funny? Oh my gosh, this Freudian what is it? Freudian slip. Twix does have a right Twix and a left Twix. Where is it? So, maybe that's what it is. Twix. There we go. Left and right. Twix is about politics, guys. This is wild. Twix is about... Actually, the fact that they put right and left into one bag kind of gives me... It's very moderate of them. I'll give them that much. But anyways, I meant to say that on X... I was about to say Twitter. I just have to say X because that's the name. Although then again, when I say my X account, it makes it sound like it's my former account. But whatever. On Twitter is where I'm usually more open about my politics because I don't like speaking about my political views when it comes on this channel, because I want this channel to be welcoming to everyone, regardless of what your own personal politics is. If you like the truth and you want to know history and civilization, then I respect whatever political view you have, as long as you're not a hateful and toxic person like some extremists are. And that's it. But when it comes to like Twitter instead, I do share my political views. Now, given, again, I'm non-toxic, non-hateful, and very moderate. So it's not like you're ever going to find a post when I'm saying something horrible that you're going to read and you're going to like, oh my gosh, is this guy out of his head? That's not me. Like, I think you can tell that. But Twix is where I lose it, guys. If it's Twix, I become like, look, Twix white. What? What's happening? I feel like I'm discovering something here today. Twix white supremacy. Twix white. What is this? You know what? Actually, Twix white sounds good. I kind of like that. Have you ever tried Twix white? Because white chocolate, even though I don't believe it to be chocolate, if you're really going to be technical about it, we always end up talking about food on this channel. What can I say? But, yeah, we got Twix white. Well, you could read it as white supremacy, or you could read it as... I don't know what you could read it as. I don't know. I was trying to think of something, but whatever. Twix white, guys. I don't know what to tell you. This is going to upset some people. But here we are. Anything else? Let me see. Cookie dough. I'm going to find something else now about Twix. Salted caramel. Man, have you ever tried Twix salted caramel? You're craving chocolate. I'm craving Twix salted caramel specifically. I'm craving that. It's so funny that they've got left and right. This is so funny. Holy moly. So let me get this straight. Let me see. So you can have, what do you get? And apparently there is I need to know, is there a difference in flavor? This is what the stream is. Where is the stream even going? Is there a difference in flavor between Twix right and Twix left? I need to know. I don't know why I'm smacking the mouse everywhere. This is what happens when you give me Twix. It become an absolute nuisance. I'm like yeah. Anyways, give the Metatron anything, just don't give him Twix. All right, so there is no actual difference, no, in flavor or ingredients between Twix right and Twix left. The left and right labeling is a marketing campaign. Oh, come on. I thought there was. Right Twix, they say, features chewy caramel on crisp cookie, whereas left bar is smooth caramel on crunchy cookie. But is it real or not? Because now you're giving me two different things. I need to know. So let me get this straight. So if maybe the AI was wrong here, I hope it is, because I want this to be real. So if there is a difference, let's see if there is a subliminal message here. So conservative Twix has chewy caramel, while liberal Twix has smooth caramel. So how can we interpret that? How can we interpret it? Well, can we give it like a wrong interpretation just for fun? What could this mean? Newsflash, Italian confused by marketing. Absolutely, Baron. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the support. Holy moly. Crisp cookie. So wait. Conservative this Twix is crisp, and liberal Twix is crunchy on the cookie. So the cookie could be a representation. I don't know where I'm going with this. Oh my gosh, left caramel identifies as a cookie dough. That's a good one. That's pretty good right there. Oh my gosh. Anyways, let's leave Twix for now. And oh yeah, you're right, Baron. You're absolutely right. I'm looking at it too deeply. The white, but the white Twix white sounds pretty good to me. I'll give you that much. Take that out of context as much as you want. I don't even care anymore. So, what's your favorite chocolate bar from Italy? Okay, you said bar specifically, because in reality, my favorite thing is a bacio perugina. That's my favorite thing from Italy that I really miss. So, if you can find this anywhere in the US or everywhere you are, this, guys, is great. It's worth it. Not to mention, it's got 4 grams of sugar in each bacio. So it's nothing. Like if you compare this to a Starbucks coffee, it's like taking 16 of these and putting them in a freaking Starbucks coffee. So yeah, you can have it. You can have 3. You can have the whole box. You'll be fine. But yeah, to me, Baci Perugina is my favorite thing. There is no difference. Damn it. Aloha. Damn it. Yeah. Italian pistachio nougat is S tier. Yeah, anything with pistachio is pretty good. Double C though. Yeah, you can find it. Oh, you know where you can find them? At World Market. At least in the US, you go to World Market, you'll find Baci Perugina. If you have never had it, means kisses, by the way. Bacio means kiss in Italian. They have the milk chocolate version. Now, I prefer milk chocolate always, except for the Baci. When it comes to Baci, you've got to get the basic, which has dark chocolate covering, but the inside has a hazelnut smooth, sweet paste, and it's the best combination ever. And this comes from someone who doesn't like dark chocolate, bitter chocolate. Oblivion Remaster is amazing. I like Oblivion Remaster. Man, the way we jump between topics is not normal. Oblivion Remaster is indeed amazing, but I don't like everything about it. So I'm thinking of making maybe a dedicated video for my gaming channel at one point, and it will be so late because I'm always late and it won't even be relevant anymore, but who cares? So the menu is better. Okay, the assets, it depends. Some assets are better, but some assets I think are a downgrade from the original, particularly with the monster department. I think the armor looks better, mostly. But when it comes to the monsters, some monsters looked like the Dryad, I think it's pronounced, it looked better before. And now they also removed the camera from horseback, which is ridiculous. First-person camera. And yeah, the crashes. But then again, I'm never too... I understand the game can crash. Maybe they'll patch it. So anyways, it's a very good game. I like it. I enjoy it. I think it's really good. It's just not everything is better about it, but it's pretty good. I like the troll looked better before. I agree. There are plenty of monsters that look better in the original. I mean, they don't look better in the sense that they've got the texture and whatnot. Okay, whatever you want. But the goblins, I like them more in the new one because the original Oblivion goblins... so if you look at the goblins now... I think they look pretty... Yeah, this is the original one. So the original goblin, to me, looks a bit like a reptilian, to be honest. Whereas the new goblin is more like a conventional fantasy goblin. And because I prefer conventional fantasy goblins, then I like them better now in the new Oblivion. But the old school one, where I guess, more iconic, so you may prefer them like they were before. But I like goblins now. I just don't like a lot of other monsters. I think they are a lot better in the original. So it's kind of a situation. But anyways, the overall, people were complaining of the lack of the colors, in the sense that the original has this green hue, whereas the new one is more of a yellowish hue. But that's easily moddable, and I kind of like the new one as well. I like both. They're just different. Chocolate type 1 or chocolate type 2, says Evil Black. Goodness gracious. Yeah, whatever you like. Yeah, which chocolate type? I don't know. Which chocolate do I like? Well, I'll put it this way. If I like the chocolate, I buy it. If I don't like the chocolate, then it's a non-binary chocolate in that case, because I don't buy it. I have no complaints with the color. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I like it. I like the way it looks, and the vegetation looks great, and the trees and whatnot. I think it's good. Have you known about Vagrant Story from PS1? Vagrant Story? No, not that I know of. One moment. Vagrant Story, PS1. Ooh, I've seen it. So now that I see it, okay, let me get the chat back. All right. So now that I see it, is yeah, I remember this. I remember the art. Is it similar? I don't think I played it. Is it kind of similar to Final Fantasy Tactics? Is it one of those, or is it just an RPG? No, maybe it's an RPG. Looks great though. It looks great, man. I love PS1 graphics. What is it with PS1 graphics, guys? What is it? Oh, fix, boom, fixed. We need Twix. Yeah, exactly, Zilakus. Zilakus says we need Twix middle. We need like a centrist Twix. So we got them all. Yeah, trolls look like gorilla, says Dinner on Twitch. You're correct. Man, this looks so good. There is something about PS1 graphics. I don't know what it is. The low poly, the textures. It's just great. I know a lot of it is nostalgia. Like, I understand that. But it works. Like, even if I understand it, it works. Nostalgia, when it kicks in, it kicks in. I mean, have you ever seen... Yeah, non-binary. I know that was a funny expression. Because that's me. With me, comedy is not dead, by the way. You can make jokes about Italians. I'm going to laugh. You can make jokes. The only thing I don't like sometimes is like when jokes are too dark, then it depends. But in general, I'm okay with it, joking about anything. And because with me, comedy is not dead. So, like for instance, I saw once someone saying, instead of binaural lighting, they called it, I don't know if they did it by mistake, but they called it bisexual lighting, and it killed, oh my gosh, I laughed my head off at bisexual lighting as an effect in the options. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't put it on Dragon Age Veilguard, I'll tell you that much. But anyways, let me show you one thing. Final Fantasy Tactics. Concept art. You want an eye candy? I'll give you an eye candy. This is an eye candy. So Final Fantasy Tactics is to me the best Final Fantasy. But whenever I see the concept art like this, ooh, I love it. It's just something about it. There is just something about it. I don't know what it is. Incredible artists. Incredible artists. In fact, I would love to do a cosplay of one of the knights for Final Fantasy Tactics. I love that they have the long white mantles. Kind of makes you think of religious orders in European Middle Ages. It's fantasy, clearly, so it's like, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't have to be historically accurate, but it's such a... There's something about it. It just speaks to me. Even the little mage looking like that, I freaking love them. Yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics is gorgeous. Gorgeous concept art. I can't even talk tonight. Even this one. Beautiful. Beautiful art. Yeah, I love it. Sorry, I just removed you. Hey, Baron, thank you for the support. Raf, look up Final Fantasy 14 armor set. Okay. Thank you for the support, by the way. Let's have a look. I used to play Final Fantasy XIV, and my main was a Dragoon. I had a Dragoon main. There you go. So look. Which one is it though? Is it this guy? Oh wow, look at that. They redid the Final Fantasy Tactics armors, I see. So I always love, you give me massive pauldrons and I love it. That's how it is. That's how it is. You give me massive pauldron, I love them. That's why I like Saint Seiya armor sets. Always look great. Yeah, look at that. The helmet is kind of a mixture between a salad and a little bit. The eyes look a bit like a Viking helmet. I shouldn't say Viking, I should say Norse, I know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, look at the Dragoons in the original. And then, of course, I remember that the armor set for my Dragoon looked amazing. I like Final Fantasy XIV. It's a good game. Maybe it's a little dated, the combat system now. And there are more fun games when it comes to the combat. But still, have you played World of Warcraft? No, World of Warcraft is... No, not really. I think it's one of the few MOBA that... no, it's not a MOBA. What am I saying? MMO RPG that I didn't get into. I played quite a few. I played Arcade, I played Dragon Nest, I played Final Fantasy XIV. I put a lot of hours into all the survival ones like Conan Exile, Valheim. Those are my favorite, in fact. I prefer survival MMO than classic MMO. I think it's because you get to build, and you build all the structure, so I will prefer those, including Enshrouded as well. Like, I like those more. But I've put quite a lot of hours into several MMOs over the years. Dragon Nest was one I used to play a long time ago. Goodness gracious. Elder Scrolls Online. I played it a bit. I think I could tell too much that it wasn't developed by Bethesda. Neither is Oblivion Remastered, by the way, but I think they did a better job at making it feeling more like and of course, because they're using the same, they didn't have to make the quests, like the quests are the original, so it still feels like the old school one, but a graphical upgrade with some quality of life features like the ability to sprint that wasn't present in the original. But when it comes to Elder Scrolls Online, because they were also writing the quests, sometimes the quests were like, go into the cavern, I need my ring. So you walk into the cavern and there is a guy in the first room. You talk to the guy. Hey, I found the ring. Oh, thank you. End of the quest. I'm like, come on. So Elder Scrolls Online, I could tell that. So I tried it. I played it. I put like maybe 20 or 30 hours in it and then I stopped. Instead, yeah, exactly. Instead, Conan Exile, I put almost 1,000 hours. So that's when a game really gets me. Then I just don't want to put down the controller or mouse and keyboard, I guess. But when it comes to like online, I was excited about it. I didn't like the fact that at first you had to buy it and do the subscription. That was crazy marketing idea, by the way. You're out of your mind. If I buy the game and then I play online, or you give me for free, or you give me a paid subscription. But even paid subscription don't even work anymore now. It's all free to play. It's the better business model. Clearly is. Fallout. Yeah, I played Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. I didn't play Vegas. Everyone says that one is a great one. They're nice. I like the idea of the post-apocalyptic explosion of the nuclear device and all that. I like that. But I'm not like a fan of Fallout. I played the browser game though. Fallout Shelter. I do play that one occasionally. Yeah, Fallout 4. I didn't even get close to 76. I think they patched it by now, but when it came out, it was a disaster. So yeah, New Vegas is great. So yeah, I'm told about that. Yeah, exactly. The inner faction politics. They say it's really good. So you should probably try it. It's just there are too many. I don't know what it is lately. It's either I play old school games, or I'll play indie horror, or in general indie games. I've really got into an indie game phase. There's something about indie that I feel is connected smoothly to how gaming was in the 80s and early 90s. So like indie are the natural development of those type of games, because AAA, it's like the road has changed, and AAA is like a tributary now of how games used to be. Games used to be crafted with passion, with quality, and they were original. AAA now is something is a successful business model, copy paste, and then remake the same game 50 times in a row. That's what AAA is. Not all games are like that with AAA, of course, and I do play some AAA games. I've got my favorite. And then AAA, there is the whole politics thing as well, where they ruined my Dragon Age series that I loved. Was a massive fan of Dragon Age, and it went into a complete nonsense freaking, yeah. Instead, indie games, I think, is where we are. That's the natural evolution of how I remember gaming back in the day. And this is why I've been playing so many indie games, because you can tell it's crafted with passion, with story. It's beautiful. So I play indie games lately. That's what I do. I am looking forward to Heroes of Might and Magic Golden Era, though. Are you aware of that one? I like Dark Knight as a, yeah. I played Final Fantasy X was my favorite regular Final Fantasy, so Tactic being a little bit of a spin-off. All Final Fantasy together, Tactics is my favorite, but if you remove that one, regular Final Fantasy X would be my favorite, because I loved the story between Tidus and Yuna. I thought it was a moving, gorgeous story, and I loved it. I just loved Final Fantasy X. So I liked it so much that I actually played and finished Final Fantasy X-2, which was, it had some interesting things, like the idea of the job system again, but apart from that, it's like a shadow of the original Final Fantasy, but I still liked it and played it. And in that game, I had found this interesting combination of one Black Knight with two white mages, and I literally annihilated everyone. And I reached the final boss 20 levels earlier than I was supposed to, and still kicked the trash out of him. And that's because in that game, the Dark Knight wounds himself to increase his damage output. So he will have a very high DPS, but then he's wounded. But because I had the double white mages, the two girls were white mages. I mean, I think they're all girls in that one. Maybe Riku was I don't remember how he did it, but anyways. And they would heal him, and then he would do it again, rinse and repeat. I could do the entire game. It was like easy mode. It was easy mode, because two white mages in conjunction could heal fast enough for his damage output to be crazy and still recover, and it was a great combination. I loved it. It was fun. Helldivers 2, I never played that. Do you have any plan to finish your Oblivion playthrough? Yes, I will. I do want to finish it, yeah. I want to play the whole thing. Totally. It sounds reasonable, Baron. I do agree that Veilguard is trash. It really is trash. I hate Veilguard. I just hate it. It is what it is. But if you love it, by the way, freedom. I'm the freedom guy. If you love it, knock yourself out. I want you to play it, enjoy it, do whatever you want. It's just not for me. Veilguard is like too much. I don't want to play it, Baron. That's the thing. Because I watched enough to know that it would annoy me so much. The political sermons, they are sermons. It would annoy me so much that I'm like, this is not a Dragon Age. And as a fan of the original Dragon Age Origins, I refuse to play it. Not to mention, I don't want to give him money. So the only way in which I would even try it, imagine if it was a challenge and people are like, oh, come on, if you try it, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, whatever. I would do it if it's gifted to me, but because I'm not giving my hard work to money. But then again, I still wouldn't want to support a studio that did something to a series that I think is despicable, and then I give him my money. I'm not going to give him my money. But that's just me. That's just me. As I say, if you like it, I know you own it. If you like it, man, have a good time. You know, we're all different at the end of the day, right? And Dragon Age Delenda Est. I do believe they've failed pretty bad, right? In the sales. I don't know. The only reason why I would want them to fail is not because I want to be a hateful individual. It's simply because I don't want to see that happen again. Make a separate video game. Don't take a loved and established and loved series and setting and change it because you need to push your politics. No, make a different game. Don't call it Dragon Age. Make a different game. Give the fans a Dragon Age that we can recognize, and then, great. And then you make your own game, and you can do whatever you want in your own game. Yeah. Thank God we all have eyes and ears. And unfortunately, Raphael, that's not enough, because people will pretend it's not happening, the political pandering in the gaming industry. They will tell you, they will gaslight you. They will tell you it's not happening, it's not true, it's not happening. It's either that or why do you care, and yeah, it doesn't matter, and all that kind of stuff. And the reality is that it's there, and I don't think it belongs. I think political propaganda belongs in politics. But the media has always been used by politics to spread propaganda. It's just that I think it hits close to home when it's a hobby that you love. At least for me. Yeah. Yeah, you see, Baron, even you say that it's bad writing. Absolutely, yeah. Oh, it's good that combat and graphics are good. I'm glad. In fact, it kind of annoys me even more if the rest is good, because then I'm like, if they didn't do that, I would have enjoyed it. But it's just its own principle for me now at this point with Dragon Age. But yeah, sure. I think the part where some people push it too much is when they tell you they play the game, so they go beyond what I do. They play the game and then they tell you, imagine the combat and the graphics are horrible because they don't like that it's pushing politics. Then you're not being honest. I think you should be honest. You should say and call it out. If you don't like the fact that it's pushing politics like I do, I will say that. But if the graphics are good, I don't have to now pretend that the graphics are not good. I can still say, yeah, the graphics are good. Still not going to play it. Yeah. Hey, Higashi Martial Arts. So good to have you here. Thank you so much. And Aloha says they can't do that because no one will buy their game. So you mean if they make a game that it's only political? But that's the thing, though. Who are they making it for then? Because if this is true, which I actually kind of, maybe you're right. It kind of depends, because if they do it too much, but maybe if it's like light, if they do a little bit, maybe not. But then again, if that's what they think, that who are they making these games for? If they know everyone is gonna hate them. But what's the point of the game then? Right? Games need to entertain, needs to be fun. That's the thing. Baron says, hey Raf, they even have even gave an in-law word for non-binary, but still went for the modern terms. Really? Well, yeah, because it's a message. I wonder what the in-law word would be, because I don't remember, like in Dragon Age Origins, any discussion. In Origins, I think, in Origin, there is the elf assassin was bisexual, in the sense that you could romance him both with a guy or with a girl. And I actually thought it was well done, because I remember I played one of my many playthroughs. I was this elf, and then what happens is that he will make an advance, but it's a very kind of polite advance. And you could tell what he's doing, and you can respond and either entertain his advance, or you could say, no, sorry, I'm not interested. And if you click that, he will never do any advance ever again to you. That's great. That's great. So this way, if you want to play it and you want to romance and have the bisexual romance, you can do it. But for me, it's not continuously pushed. He politely does the advance, you reject it, and that's the end of the story. I liked the way it was done. I honestly don't remember anything that could have to do with non-binary. Honestly, I don't remember that. But if you say so, if they have a word that is kind of similar, the Kunari term, I see where you're going with that. Yeah, I can see that. Then they should have used that, I guess, rather than using modern political terminology. Yeah, I can see that. What I personally, I'm going to say this, and again, I'm just going to say this, but I always find it a little funny, and I know it's just a little sleight of hand on my part. It's a little language joke. It's a joke. What I find funny is that when you remove man, woman, or male and female, because you want to put binary and non-binary, because the binary is the problem, then I always like to remind that binary and non-binary is still a binary concept, because you have two things, two options, binary, non-binary. It's binary. So if the idea of removing male and female was because you wanted to remove the binary concept, then binary and non-binary is still a binary concept. Doesn't really matter, but it's funny, so I like saying it like that. Friend zone. I basically friend zone the assassin in the game. Yeah, I did. You like Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is a really, objectively, really good game. I made a drow, and it looks pretty good. There is a little bit of veiled politics in it, but it's not too bad. And so that's me. I know that there are some people that in the moment, if there is like even a little bit, they will drop the game. And okay, it's their freedom. They can do whatever they want. For me, if it's Dragon Age Veilguard, I'll drop the game. If it's Baldur's Gate 3, there is a little bit, but I can still tolerate it. So it kind of depends on where we're going, basically. It's how it is. Yeah. So yeah. Sure, yeah, real serious as a point, but that's politics in the game. When you say in Skyrim, you could literally either choose self-determination and independence, but with racism with the Nords. Yeah, the Nords are pretty racist towards the elf. Or imperialism, but with multiculturalism with Imperials. I guess, but then again, it's not like, imagine if in Skyrim, here's where I'm going to go with that. Imagine if in Skyrim, if you play the Imperials, you need to build a wall to keep immigration from entering because you want to make the Empire great again. And at the same time, with the rebels, you are actually fighting for the rights of the non-binary elves. I mean, it's not modern politics. That's the thing. If it's modern politics and you're trying to teach me something, you're trying to give me a message, that's when it feels weird. But if it's politics that makes sense within the universe, in the fantasy politics, then I love it, right? So that's how it is. But Raf, they build a bunch of forts. Yeah, they do, Baron. They do build a bunch of forts. You're right. Could you imagine if, like in the new Elder Scrolls, you get to build a golden dome? If you choose the empires or if you choose the other guys, it's one of those things. I don't like it when it's clear that you're trying to push a message to me, because you want to influence the way I vote. That's what. Not that I vote. I don't vote in America. I'm not a citizen. I can't vote. But that's what annoys me. That's what annoys me. If it's politics, well-written politics within the game in fantasy politics, then absolutely you are correct. They should be there because they make the more interesting. Yeah. Is Cathay to you political? I don't know what that is. I don't know what it even is. I don't know what that is. Is it a game? I don't know. I need to open chat again though. 1 second. I'm gonna open chat again. Everyone is coming back. But thank you again to the members. You guys are great. Thank you for the support. Let's open chat again. Reload. And we're going to edit. And we're going to customization. And we click anyone in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's going to be the first message? Who's going to be the first message, ladies and gentlemen? It's Melanie. Melanie wins the race. Melanie, I'm going to put you over the face of this guy. Thank you so much, Melanie. Welcome back. So good to have you back, guys. Freedom, Augustus. Yeah. Melanie wins. I appreciate you staying, by the way, for the whole time, Melanie. Really appreciate it. The same for everyone else. And yeah. Why are we looking at Final Fantasy 14 armor? Oh, we were looking at it for fun. Just Z. And because Final Fantasy 14 is a good game. I do believe Final Fantasy 14 is a good game. I understand. Yeah, no. Inquisition was okay, but Dragon Age 2 was already when I was like, meh. And then when it comes to Mass Effect, 1 and 2 are the best for me. 3 is good, but Andromeda was atrocious. I hope they make a new good Mass Effect, to be honest, because those were fascinating games. How you could go into like different planets. It was great. Hey, Colin. Good to have you here. 600 hours already. Goodness gracious. Just, that's, Andromeda gave me Star Trek vibes, so I didn't mind the change. Oh, well, that's good. I think, I don't know, it just didn't speak to me. The character, the situation. I might give it another try. Although, I will probably just replay the original Mass Effect, to be honest, because that's the one I like. So there is that. Well, I guess we have to agree to disagree on that, St. Nicholas, but that's okay. Not a problem. Yeah, new Mass Effect could be good, and also we'll have to see the new Elder Scrolls as well, how that's gonna go. Rain says you love Inquisition for some reason. It had some good ideas. I played some Inquisition. I didn't finish it though. Did not finish it. You watch Star Trek every night? Man, I used to watch Star Trek a lot back in the day. Yeah. You can't wait for the new Cyberpunk. Are they gonna make one? I didn't know. Thank you, Higashi, for the support. Hey, Meta, what are your thoughts about me not being able to be my nephew Catholic godparent, even though I'm a practicing Catholic, just not baptized? Yeah, no, I think you should be able to be the godparent. Absolutely. I don't see. It's strange though. Why are they preventing that? I've seen people who are atheists that became godparent. I don't think it should matter. Maybe try with a different priest. Find a different church. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to the new Heroes game. Yeah, Olden Era. In fact, let's open it. Heroes of Muppet and Magic Olden Era? Era? How do you read it in English? I think it's, maybe it's Era. Olden Era. Man, I said Olden Era every single time I mentioned this game. Great. Absolutely, por favor. Thank you for being here. It took 16 years to come out. Yeah, and it's made by an independent studio, which could be a good thing, and it could also be not a good thing. So we'll have to see. I mean, not that I want Ubisoft. I mean, I wish 3DO could make it, but 3DO is not there. So Ubisoft, maybe it's good that they outsourced it. And it looks interesting. There are some choices that I didn't like. I always complain. I will always complain about this, but they removed zombies from Necro, and that's a big problem for me. But because Necro is not my main, whatever. I actually contacted them. In fact, did they even see my comment? Because I left a comment. Where did I leave it though? The new gameplay, maybe? Let me see. I did leave a comment to these Muppets, but I don't think they saw it because I asked them, hey, can I have a key? Can I try it? And I'd be happy to pay for it. It's not like I want to have special treatment. It's not like, oh, look at me, I'm big shot YouTuber, give me games for free. No, I'll pay for it. The only reason why I call them Muppets, well, I call everyone Muppets, but the only reason why I call them Muppets is because I've seen them send quite a few keys to a lot of YouTubers. So I'm like, can I have one? I just want one. I want to play it. You know, it could be good for you. I mean, then again, if I don't like the game, I guess I would say it, but still I would be polite about it. And probably by the looks of it, if I check this out, it really looks like it's a game that I would love. I would like it. So, yeah, there might be some things I wouldn't like, but I don't think they would mind that. And it would still be excellent exposure. I mean, I don't know if you all knew that this even existed. So, I don't know what happened, honestly, with the marketing department. I'll have to try and contact them again. I tried on Discord and I tried leaving a comment, but I don't think I got a reply. I'll try again. I will try again. Have you seen the Jubilee Jordan Peterson video? So, when he debates 20 atheists, so someone mentioned it. I watched a little bit of it yesterday. I thought it was interesting. We could react to it tomorrow. You know, during tomorrow's stream, it's a little section of the stream. I was going to do it tonight, but I spoke too much. So maybe I could do it tomorrow. Yeah, I could react to the stream a bit tomorrow and see how Peterson handles 20 atheists and having we'll see how it goes. It actually interests me. Sure. You didn't know it existed, exactly, boss. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen from this company. Could you please send me the game so I can show it to my community? They're gonna love it. They're gonna love it. But yeah, just one of those things, I suppose. You had no idea either. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'll be fair. Even if I don't get it, I'll still, if I like the game, I'll still review it. I'll still mention it. So they're still getting all of the press on the channels, plural, regardless, and Twitch. So I'm still gonna do it. It's just that I wanted it early because I want to play. Okay, I just said it. I said I just want to play. I want to play it. Yeah. So it's one of those things, I suppose. That'd be awesome, I agree. Not that impressed with JP's performance in that video. Yeah, as I say, sometimes I like his performance, sometimes I don't. But I think even if I went to debate, I probably would fail. I don't know. I should try it, though, one of these nights. We're going to have a guest next week on the channel. I can't tell you who it is because he specifically asked me. We're going to have several guests on this channel this month. One of these guests, which is probably going to be the one that we're going to have either sooner or soon, is the soonest or soon, specifically asked me not to say it. So it will be a surprise guest, but we will have this guest. And are we going to have a debate? I'm going to call it, because I'm not a professional debater, I'm going to call it a conversation, okay? So hopefully it might turn into a debate, but it's probably going to be more of a conversation. We're going to call it like that. So anyways, just to let you know, there is going to be, do come and check the live streams. And if you miss the live streams because you have to work between 5 and 9 Central, then do check the VODs, because we're going to have a few guests over the next coming days. And yeah, it's going to be good. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, anyways, it's 9:06. I think, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for me to click the stupid effect one more time. Wow, what a stream! So yeah, I really appreciated you being here, guys, on Twitch and guys on YouTube. For Twitch, I might play tonight a little bit, some games. Probably see you there. But I really appreciate you being here. It was an awesome stream. Thank you so much for the generosity and all the memberships. Man, this was incredible. We hit an amazing can't even speak. I really need to have my pasta. An amazing milestone. Thank you. An amazing milestone tonight. It was great with all the subscriptions. We reached 520 something. Subscriptions, so I really appreciate that. You guys were amazing. I had a great time. I will see you again tomorrow. Let's get some fireworks. See you again tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night. Thank you for being here. Bye. Ciao, ciao. GG. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao. Takes me forever to click, doesn't it?